There it is.
Okay, we are live. We are live from the Dominican and from Toronto, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul. How are you, Kendra?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Let me just put an end to this. I do this every single time. I'm probably not the only one.
I can hear the back. Yeah.
Beautiful soul. How are you, Kendra?
I'm good. How are you?
Just mute that. There we go.
That's better.
So a lot's been going on.
Yes.
Crazy, crazy stuff in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Over what was it? Over 55 people killed today.
Are
I think they said like 2 or 3 Canadians.
well, I heard that. What's that singer?
Oh, are
Petty.
you talking about? Oh, Tom Petty. Yeah, he's
He
dead.
was there. He was there. He got shot and died apparently, right?
No, he had a heart attack.
There.
No, I don't think so.
A totally different event.
Totally different.
Yeah, I don't watch TV, so I don't ever really get to hear there. I have to wait for the alternative news to come out before I can hear anything. But yeah, I heard he died, and I guess his event. How many deaths so far?
Over 55.
50. Really?
Real or hoax?
I did watch some of the interviews,
Right.
and I gotta be honest, they don't seem very authentic. That could be just me.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? Like, I did watch some of the interviews, and they seemed slightly just a sec. Yeah. Should I put? I don't want to sound, wrong. It could be a real event, I guess. I don't know. Unfortunately, there's been so many suspect events that I can't look at any event and just go, oh yeah, 100% that's real, without at the very least looking at it and checking out the evidence.
Right.
So right off the bat, there's a couple of things that I think don't make sense.
Such as?
And they show you when the guns shots are going off, right?
Correct.
Some people are laying down, some people are standing and giving fingers up to the window, like, they're giving the guy the finger and drinking, and I don't know. I guess this would be my question. Crowd, and from a building not far away, somebody was shooting a machine gun into the crowd. What do you think your reaction would be?
Hysterics. I'd be hiding and ducking.
And would you duck?
I would,
or try to get behind something?
I'd want something for shelter.
Right? Like, I don't think that I would just lay down.
That, and I would not be running aimlessly because you didn't know where the shots are coming from.
When you lay down, you become a bigger target, right?
Correct.
If you're standing up, you're a harder target to hit from that distance because you're a smaller target. But if you're laying down, you make yourself a pretty big target.
My brother did say that he's seen some cell phone video footage, I guess on World Star, and you could see people getting hit with the bullets.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, and I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying the event isn't true, and a lot of times they'll even cause events to happen that are true,
right?
But they're not what the narrative is telling us. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily some crazed old white guy in a divorce that lost his money at the casino.
Converted to Islam a week prior.
Yeah, that just converted to Islam. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that makes absolutely no sense. Now, I'm not the biggest country and Western fan, but I don't think that would motivate me to want to shoot up a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, the homosexual thing, the guy could have been anti-gay. So I think you can take out of the equation. I don't think country and Western music is that hideous that people would, you know, be focusing on that as their reason. So what is the reason?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get
Well, if you convert to Islam, isn't that what they do?
they want to do? I mean, you know, apparently every single event, or at least 99% of the events, these Islamic terrorists. So are they trying to fire up something?
Probably.
It's like, you know, if you worked with me at a money kept going missing in the till, and I kept saying, you know, white girl with blue eyes, eventually they might stop hiring blonde white girls with blue eyes. Right?
Right.
So if you keep implanting that same image into people's heads, eventually you're going to create a powder keg of anger. How they begin the process of fueling what I believe is coming, and I think is going to be a holy war. I think a lot of things are going to come at once. I think a holy war is right, and that's what they're trying to do. They're going to divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised though, like that something happened so soon. Like we had all those big storms, and now this. It's just like everything's coming at once.
And it's going to get crazier. Your friend just showed up. Zoe's here. My friend.
My future ex-husband, Bill Hicks.
Yeah, your future ex-husband. He's going to buy you a house, is he? Bill's going to buy you a house and then divorce you?
Yeah. He's going to buy two, so I just get a whole one to myself.
Amen, amen, amen. The BBC News said that he had 19 rifles in his room. How did he get 19 rifles up through a hotel?
I know.
There'd be a lot that's gonna make truthers go, what?
Well, they're not small rifles either, right? Then they say an AK-47. That's not small,
right? And so, when he just gets them into a hotel room. And did nobody hear the windows smashing or the glass falling on the ground when he smashed out the window so that he could do the shooting?
That makes no sense.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
That could have been set up.
I literally, right? I don't trust anything.
Oh, can't hear you. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can.
Yeah, it's a great big, you know, for me, I don't want to say it didn't happen. And it did, because there's, you know, if it did, then there's a lot of really sad victims out there. But the truth of the matter is that I can't truther and just believe it without investigating it.
Well, 9/11, the towers came down. They just didn't come down the way they said it came down.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. They didn't lie about the towers coming down. We know that happened.
Yes.
How did they come down?
It wasn't from a plane.
Boy, Leroy, Gouda, Moss, for all, everybody, Bill Hicks. We might get a good crowd tonight. I think people are going to be interested in hearing some conversations about, you know, this event, things that are happening does anybody know how Tom Petty died? Was he involved?
No, it was a heart attack.
It was a heart attack? What? Okay.
Most definitely. See, yes.
Oh, you got another fan. I'm just going to give you this show and quit.
Yeah, they're all here for me, Randy.
Yeah, I'm out. You're in.
With the old and with the new.
Yeah, apparently this is the case, right? Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the next couple of days and really do some concentration on this event. The truth is, because I used to do the hoaxes. If you look at My older channels, I used to do a lot of, Sandy Hook and the Boston bombings, and I got out of that.
This is a new one, a big one.
That's pretty crazy. It's
they're saying it's the biggest mass shooting in United States history.
And they said that about the gay one in that club Pulse or whatever in Orlando, right?
Correct.
It was the biggest. And now this is the biggest. And so here's something I had said, Kendra, months back. Well, when Donald Trump was first elected president, I said that it's highly possible that he's involved at some level with them if we start seeing hoaxes happen. Because for me, the hoaxes are related to the president at some level. We've seen Obama show up with these hoaxes and hug and do photo ops with the victims. Apparently, Trump is going to be going to Las Vegas on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting, right? So I always gauge some of, whether or not it's a hoax by the response of the president, because there's pictures of Obama with the Sandy Hook girls that make no sense. Where the girl that apparently died is in one of the pictures with Obama at the right.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see, what develops, because that is, if in fact it is a real shooting. How far away was he? And he had a machine gun? Is this what he had?
I think he was 38 floors up.
And he shot down into a crowd?
Yes, sir.
So those bullets, I'm trying to think velocity and distance.
Well, you got to Google AK-47 rifle and check out their bullets and stuff.
And the penetration, right?
Correct. That's actually smart. I never even thought to do that.
Yeah, like the velocity, I'm questioning from that distance and that height.
Well, have you seen an AK-47? I've seen one in person. They're big.
Yeah, they're big. They're of course they're weapon and very powerful. But my question is, when you shoot down into a crowd at a distance, how far away was the crowd? You know what I'm saying? I'm not an expert. I'm asking. I'm certainly not. Oh, I'm just questioning.
Let's see. Effective. I'm just reading here on the AK-47. I'm kind of curious now.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. They're saying the range is 800 to 1,000 yards. But however, this gun is notoriously inaccurate. So the chances of you hitting something from far with an AK-47 is near impossible.
But if you fire into a crowd, you're gonna
hit something.
But what's the velocity of the bullet by the time it gets to 1,000 feet?
So there's different answers I'm getting here, though, on it. Let's check it out. Oops. Close that. So I'm wondering what is this? Sorry, I'm just reading really fast. I'm seeing if I can find anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to think out Pillbox and Arcane.
Hmm.
I'd like to hear their opinions on it.
What are we reading here? A shot, an AK can penetrate from long range depending on the bullet grain and powder loaded. I can read. Only ballistics will tell how close the shooter was. Well, back to that 9/11 thing someone's commenting on. I also seen a video that they've banned now. It was on the American news of the reporter standing there right as the towers went down saying they see no debris from any airplanes there. And they've taken this whole news coverage off the internet now. I'm sure you can find it somewhere, but Did you see much blood in the videos that have been posted? Rand, did you?
What's this?
How did you see a lot of blood on those videos posted from the shooting?
None. Blood on somebody's leg, and apparently was blood from a victim that died in her arms, but the blood was on the legs, not the upper body. And none of the people that have been talking seem very upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you were at an I don't know. I've never been at an event like that. So
I think it's like you said. It's probably it happened, but it was a setup. Yeah. What are you looking at, Brandy?
same.
Oh, the same thing. The AK-47 bullets.
Right now, I'm looking up different videos that have come out.
I should have asked my brother how it is. He's fired one. But like you said, like shooting into a huge crowd, it could hit anybody.
Well, it can definitely hit anybody, but the question is,
where's the carnage?
hey, my brother.
What up?
What's going on, sir? Well, thank you for coming. Yeah. Where is the carnage? Like,
I mean, I'm not a sicko or nothing, but I want to see some carnage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, they haven't showed very much of it. I guess they got to get their videos together.
Right. Thousands of people with cell phones out at a country music festival and no footage online yet? Okay.
There's some, but my brother said he...
Yeah, where are the pictures of people, you know what I'm saying, real bullet wounds? I want to see
Well, my brother said he was on World Star and he's seen a good video. Well, not a good video, but you know what I mean. It's a clear video of people getting hit with bullets. Like you could see
getting hit with bullets.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It's a cell phone video, too. You got to go on World Star, apparently.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Today, I seen today that the police were asking everybody to send in their cell phone if they had footage to hand their cell phone over to the police so that they can use it for investigation, which sounded an awful lot like that cop at Sandy Hook that said, don't listen to the alternative media, Facebook and YouTube channels. You want to know what's going on, you listen to us. Those channels are putting out fake information and they're going to be charged. Remember that?
Well, why would you have to hand in your cell phone? I mean, why wouldn't you just send them the video? I need to give you my whole cell phone with all my personal information on there too? No, thank you.
Right.
Like we are like in a world of serious technology right now, and I have to hand you my cell phone. I can't just send you the video.
Yeah, I want to see some video, some proof. I hope nothing did happen, of course.
Hmm.
You know, just like all
I'll
these
tell you
things,
what.
people get all upset, and we're looking at it like, dude, it's a false flag. Nobody died. Chill out. It's all right.
I'll tell you what. It's awful interesting. Hugh Hefner, and then Las Vegas. I know there's a correlation there, right? I mean, Hugh Hefner is in my opinion greatly responsible for the opening up of the sex trade and lust in America, if not the world. And then what is the Vegas? Is it not called Sin City? What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Mm.
So
Well, I guess we'll
there's a
see.
correlation. Huh?
I guess we'll see what these crisis actors are talking about. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we were saying earlier.
Yeah. Well,
Listened to a couple of them. They didn't sound very freaked out about just being in a mass shooting. It's not like, look at that. I have seen people that just witnessed a shooting of one person.
right.
One person. Not 55. Not a crowd of people being shot at.
Right.
Freaked out at what they saw. You mean to tell me that all of these people in the interviews have seen so many people shot that it's just nothing to them now?
They're in shock. They need. Yeah.
Well, I seen an interview with a nurse, and she didn't like look upset, and her last comment was, "But it's so nice to see how everybody just comes together."
Right. Speaking of that, man, I got some issues with D Marvel. Some of the stuff he was just talking about. So that's crazy. Yeah, everybody wants, this united. Like I ain't trying to be united with everybody. Like not everybody is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like all this unity. Like unity's good if we can all be on the same page about something, but I'm just not so sure with all these people pushing this idea of we're not going to discriminate. We need to unify about this. Like, okay, like I'm not sure about that.
Right.
I'm skeptical.
Well, my friend put up a thing, and she was like, "How come no one's calling him a terrorist? Because he's white, male, and that he's a Christian?" I go, "Actually, they did call him a terrorist, but they also said he converted to Islam a week prior." But he's
Right, I
white.
saw something where they're trying to say that ISIS took responsibility for it. No.
Oh, you know what though? Come on. I don't know.
Right. That should tell you right there it's false flag, but whatever.
Yeah. Every time I hear that, I think that.
Right. But I'm keeping an open mind. If people really did die, I hope it gets better for them. But at the same time, I want proof, man. I'm sick of just being guilt tripped into trying to, you know what I'm saying? People trying to get me to believe something off a guilt trip. But I'm like, dude, you should be asking for proof, man. Like they could sell you anything, and you're sitting here trying to guilt trip people.
Well, people probably did die, but I think it was set up, is my thing. Like I was saying earlier, yeah, the Twin Towers came down. Yes, they did, but they didn't come down the way they said they did. So they could be one of those kind of things.
Right. Or like 6 million people died in the Jewish Holocaust.
Right.
Like somebody died, but whether it was 6 million or not is in question.
Were the numbers correct, and who actually killed them?
Right. Exactly. But shit, at this point, I don't even think nobody died yet until they show me otherwise, man, for real.
Oh, Wayne says he's watching a video on Instagram about it, but the gunfire is coming from the 4th floor, not the 38th.
Go figure.
Right?
And while we scramble and try to figure out the details, they're sitting back watching us, plotting on their next move.
Yeah, what are they really trying to cover up right now that's really happening?
A lot. It's a lot going on. I think if they can keep us distracted with any and everything, they'll have the element of surprise when they're ready to pounce. and enact something. You know what I'm saying? It's like this whole unity thing. Isn't that how they're gonna bring about the new world order? They're gonna say we need to come together to face a common threat, right?
That they're trying to divide and conquer because
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. They're trying to divide right now so that the solution can be we need to come together for a common threat. And I think the higher the tension between the division of white and black, left and right, blah, 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 the higher the tension is at that time when they do strike and say, oh, here's a new threat that everybody should be worried about. We'll be primed and ready to accept it because we're already in high,
makes sense.
We're on 10 already, right? So that's possible. That's why I say I don't trust nothing but my gun and my Bible. Straight up. That's it.
That, and they're saying the guy came into the Las Vegas hotel with how many guns? It was a large number of guns. Randy, how many guns was it?
Oh gosh, 16 or some ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm. And they're not small guns. The one he fired apparently was an AK-47. So how did you get all those in there?
And you know, Nevada's, Vegas in particular, they're known for their concealed carry, open carry, whatever. So it's kind of like Texas in that regard.
Really?
If they can hit Texas and places like Nevada, they can push for gun control, whatever.
That's crazy.
Say, look, yeah, this, open carry, people could just go walk in and buy a gun and look what happens. They're allowed to buy automatic weapons, and then everybody freaks out. Same moment.
Like, what do you really need an AK-47 for?
Well, I can answer that from my personal perspective, but obviously he had other intentions if he used it for that. So,
like a handgun or something, but like AK-47?
I'll tell you why you need one. Because our enemy has them.
True.
Right.
I mean,
we can't have guns over here, so.
Right. When your enemy has nuclear weapons, you might want an AK. So, right? It's like, I've had some enemies that had a baseball bat. So you got to be smart enough to know what your enemy's got. And so I would say, what is it in the Second Amendment? Is it not written that the right to bear arms is in case your government goes tyrannical, right?
Oh.
It's written right into the Second Amendment. The reason for the right to bear arms is not just for self-protection, but also in case your government turns on you.
Wowzers.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that right, RK?
Yeah, man, they weren't worried about us shooting Bambi when they put that in there. They were worried about the government. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly right.
They wrote it right in there that if your government turns on you, you're going to need these types of weapons.
Yeah, that's the only way to ensure that we can have a militia, right? If you take away their right to bear arms at that capacity, you basically can do away with any and all militia. It'd just be people with handguns against, it'd be a slaughter, basically. There's no militia at that point. It's like Texas, Nevada, they ain't trying to give up their guns like that. They're like, no, sir, not us. So they need something way drastic to happen to influence people to do that. And of course, we saw it coming a mile away.
In Canada, you got to get a gun license. You can't have no criminal charges, all that kind of stuff. And you have to have a gun license and a gun cabinet. And they have real tough restrictions over here on guns in Canada.
Meanwhile, the majority of guns in this country are illegal guns shipped in, or from Canada, or illegal guns shipped in from the U.S.
That's right. That's why to buy a gun on the street is ridiculously priced.
Mm-hmm. And they're all coming over the border from America, so.
And they're usually dirty, like dirty guns. Yeah.
So as long as they still got them, I think I'm gonna hold on to mine. Because what happens? Let's say, for example, they kill the power grid, right? and blame it on a solar flare or whatever. How long do you think it'll take before people start, after the Walmarts and all the grocery stores are looted? How long do you think it will take before people start knocking or kicking in your door?
No, I agree. I wish we could get guns over here like that.
Right. So yeah, the people with guns will rule the land at that point.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of people that are storing up food, and my advice is, if you're one of the people storing up food, don't make it public information. Don't tell people.
Of course.
Because if you're telling people that you're storing up food, victim, you're going to be a target. And make no mistake about it, there's going to be an event occur, I believe, in the next year, maybe 2 max, where it's going to immobilize masses of people. So far, it's been 1 million people without electricity in Florida, people flooded in Texas. All of these events have proven, an act in a situation where they are literally on their knees without. And so when like an EMP attack, when they blow out the electricity and everybody is shut down in major cities, how are you gonna handle it? If you're in a city like Toronto, like Kendra, or Chicago, like how are you gonna handle millions of people trying to serve themselves and feed their kids and hold on to what's theirs? I've made this statement many, many times. Imagine the guy. I want to say hi to the room just for a second. I see Nathan's here. Hey, Nathan, how are you? My beautiful, beautiful friend Candy, and anybody else, Bob Holster that showed up. Wayne Rack, one of my dearest friends. Okay, so let me just say this. I've made this statement before. So let's say that you're downtown in a major city, Los Angeles, New York, Toronto, Chicago, and you've got your brand new Porsche and you're all proud of your materialistic things, and all of a sudden an EMP attack happens and everything is shut down and all of the cars are demobilized and everything is just still sitting there, and all of a sudden the city starts going into panic. Are you going to be able to walk away from your brand new Porsche? Walk away from your beautiful house and go up into the woods where you can start to survive? Are you going to be able to walk away from people in your life that you know are going to be a problem? The worse it gets, the worse they're going to get. Have you got a plan set? Have you got a location set? Have you got a bag ready to take and you have a plan? Or are you guys just kind of in your heads but not truthers in your realities? I'm over here in the Dominican for a reason. I'm not here because I can't afford to live in any major city in the world. I could easily live in Toronto, or to live. I'm in a third world country, not necessarily because I have to be, and certainly not because of the beautiful weather and all of the reasons one might think. As a part of my preparation for what I believe is coming, I've actually, and Kendra knows this, I've actually just participated in a compound here where I am in a very good position in a compound. I'm not going to go into detail, but 17 rooms in the mountains, a compound with swimming pool, water being brought in, food on site, security. We got everything here. I've got a compound I'm on that, if people need to flee and they're smart enough to do it in the right amount of time and blessed enough to be able to know the times and get out in the right time, I'm providing an opportunity for people to be taken care of. And this isn't going to be for everybody. This is literally, and I'll say it again, this is going to be for people that I trust. And the first thing you need to be in order for me to actually really, 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 really trust you is that you're a Christian, that you believe in the same God as me. That's number one. And number two, you better be a flat earther. Anyway, Ball Rocket, as my brother Arcane stated, I can't trust you. So that's kind of where I'm at. Are you guys prepared? Are you guys awake enough to know that you better have a bug out bag, or you better have a location, or have you guys got a spot up in the woods or in the mountains where you've buried some supplies? Or what are you guys doing? I would love to know what you guys are doing as far as taking care of the possibility of what's coming. Or are you guys just gonna wait it out?
Yeah, I think we should be prepared as we can be. I mean, it's not like we can escape. It's like what's my man's name in the side chat? What he say? James Richard. He said, when it comes to government power, our guns are meaningless today. Who can make war against the beast? Might as well bear up the cross and get your head chopped off. I pretty much agree with that. You can't fight the system as a whole and think that we're gonna prevail or something crazy like that. No, but I'm gonna protect my family and my possessions until the time comes where I think that there's no chance left. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna preach the word, as desperately as I can at that time, when stuff really hits the fan, because that's what people are gonna need the most is, what's gonna happen after this place is destroyed, where they're gonna go. So as long as I'm alive, I feel like the gospel will be alive, and I'm just not gonna let nobody take what's mine. I'm not just gonna lay down.
Amen.
So yeah, just stay vigilant, man. We don't know what's gonna happen. For all we know, we can get raptured and not see some of this stuff. We can get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Lord is under attack, bro. So as long as you guys are at the very least waking up now, whether it's the government or whether it's something else, I don't know, but just know that America's under attack. There's our dear, beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful Christian sister. How are you, Candy?
Hello. I'm driving, so I didn't want to stay in the chat room very long. So let me get on the panel for a minute before I get somebody in my car.
All right, so we're kind of talking about, Las Vegas, and I was saying to Kendra earlier, I did a bit of just on a lot of different things, but they're really getting ready to buckle down on imprisoning humanity in a way it's never been done before. And it's coming, and these events are a part of it. Make no mistake about it. They are absolutely 100% going to be into FEMA camps, and my discernment tells me within the next year, very least the next 2 years.
Yeah, I can't believe it's taken this long. I thought they were going to been done something pretty drastic, but I heard about that thing in Vegas. I honestly haven't had time all day today to even look at anything, but as soon as I heard about it, I said it's probably fake. So I really don't know what even happened.
Yeah, I think a buddy just said down here, Flat Stuff said Flat Earth Mental Asylum. But you know what? I could see them. Literally, I could see them corralling flat earthers and making an example of them, because if any of us are beginning to expose a truth that they don't want people to know, it's flat Earth, and it's an easy one to say that flat earthers are crazy, so they can use it to imprison truthers as a whole and begin to shut people up by how they responded to the flat Earth people. But I could see that being more in America. I could see them make an example of American flat earthers, and probably less the case for, guys like myself over here in the Dominican, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what goes on over in in Britain, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably not as big a movement, the flat Earth, as it is in the United States. I think the United States has the most flat earthers of all countries. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm not sure about that. I think they're spread out everywhere. I mean, I know, that China, they don't have Google over there. Like it's completely banned. So I'm wondering what people over there are thinking, or I don't know. But I know that, I mean, it seems like there's a lot over in the UK. I don't know. I still think about that whole. I didn't know China. They didn't have access to Google until recently.
Yeah, I knew that. Fires over there, and yeah, you're not allowed to. Internet is very, very hard to get over there, and they don't want their citizens. Guys, that's a whole lot of people. That's a billion people. If China woke up all at once, that would be a big problem.
I don't know. Part of me feels like they're letting it out slowly on purpose, because they know that they can't hide it that much longer. I mean, the way that the communication and technology is nowadays, and the advancement in, like the zoom and the cameras and everything. There's so many different things. It's not possible for them to keep on hiding it. You know what I mean? So I almost feel like there are people out here who are, placed here to let it out in a certain way. And I think that, because if they let it out, I mean, if everybody finds out at the same time, it's going to be completely chaotic. And if they let it out slowly, I mean, how many generations is it going to take before all of the Globers are dead anyway?
Okay, so that's an interesting point. So that there is a government agenda to let us know that we're not on a spinning wet ball rocket. Just go with that thought for a minute. Now we have to go back to the most prominent voices. Is flat Earth going again? And we can go as far back as Eric Dubay. Sargent was a pretty big voice. You have to go, okay, voices, what are their real roles?
I don't think we'll ever even know.
Right?
Well, I've been asking that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what's coming next? I feel like Flat Earth was released into the public, into the mainstream. I heard D Marble's video. I think he made it yesterday, where, I don't know if you've heard about that B.O.B. situation and the GoFundMe and all that. I don't know how much you're up on that, but
$1 million.
people were trying to call B.O.B. a shill. I'm getting some background noise from somebody.
That's me. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. People were calling B.O.B. a shill or whatever because he started a GoFundMe to send satellites as high up into space as he can go to prove the curvature or whatever, right? And it started at $200,000. And then he came back and said it was for $1 million, and that he was open to suggestions of how he could use the money to prove the ball Earth, to prove it true or prove it wrong. So he started this whole GoFundMe, and all these flat earthers got nervous because he's asking for money for something. So they started calling him a shill, I guess. And all these people were talking about it. You've been exposed, Dreadhead. Flat Earth a-hole. All these people. And so D Marble, I guess, according to him, did his research, and B.O.B.'s legit to him. And I guess he's upset that people are calling people shills and this and that. And he named all of these people who were involved with the Flat Earth movement. Eric Dubay, Mark Sargent, Patricia Steere. All these people have been called shills. ODD TV, who's the other one? Jeranism, himself, all these people, right? And they're pretty big names. A lot of the videos we've all watched while clicking on flat earth material, trying to learn stuff. We've all seen their videos, right? And it's just funny to me. Like, some of the stuff he was saying was like, I don't care. Basically, I don't care if they're a shill. We all need to come together. You know what I'm saying? That bothers me. Like, he's like, well, unless you can prove that they're a shill, don't call them a shill. Unless you've brought more people to flat earth truth, no right to call them a shill. And I'm like, I don't know about that, man. I just have some issues with that whole line of thinking.
I kind of say the same thing, just in a different way, because I mean, scratch the whole how many people have you brought to flat earth. I feel like whether they are a shill or not, if you don't have proof, then I don't think that anybody has any right to speculate or accuse anybody. I mean, unless you have proof. If you have proof, then bring it forward. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of have always said the same thing. I mean, if they are, I mean, it's not like we're going to find out, and anybody can. I mean, I've been told, I've been called a shill. People say it about me, so I know that. You know, I mean, we'll never know. But I don't know. The whole BOV thing, maybe he's doing it for all the right reasons, and people are just, once again, speculating on things they don't know about.
Right. And I thought that too, because I actually gave BOB the benefit of the doubt when I was on You've Been Exposed channel, when they were so quick to blast him as, you know, being a fake flat earther and all of this.
I mean,
I wanted to look at it objectively. Like,
have y'all listened to his music? I mean, he's got like the intro on his CD. He's talking about how his friends don't want to hang out with him no more. Oh God, here comes you again. We don't want to hear the conspiracy stuff. You know, like, I mean, it's not like he's exposing himself to the whole world for all these years. I don't think that he's just all of a sudden. I don't know. People.
Look, do I trust BOB? Absolutely not. I don't trust BOB. He said a lot of truth, but so does Alex Jones. Alex Jones says a lot of truth. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be as objective as I can. Like, I don't see anything about the guy that warrants me calling him a shill necessarily, other than the fact that he's a paid celebrity in bed with the entertainment industry. You know, if you sign a contract with them and you make millions of dollars with them, 9 times out of 10, you're in bed with them in some other contractual way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trust BOB from the get-go. However, I just don't see anything that warrants me to outright call him a shill. But doggone it, if he shows me something that's not okay, like some of the stuff that D Marble was saying, I was like, wow, bro, really? Like, you don't care if they're a shill or not? You want us to be united with shills? Like, I have a problem with that more than I have a problem with BOB's GoFundMe. You know what I'm saying? Like, 99% of what D Marble said, I agreed with. Like, not jumping to conclusions, not painting somebody in a certain way too quickly. I get all that. But as far as this all coming together and being united, shill or not, I think that was his direct quote. Don't quote me on that, but it was, I mean, I'm not taking him out of context. He basically said, shill or not, we all need to come together. And I'm like, no, because that same skepticism, right? That same skeptical mindset is what is driving the whole flat earth so-called movement, right? So if you take that away and just say, well, if you haven't brought more people to flat earth than so-and-so, you have no right to be skeptical about their motives. I can't agree with that. I don't know. I just can't. Like, if I feel like you're a shill, I'm going to say so. You know what I'm saying? I can't prove it. That's kind of like, well, can you prove that he's actually a flat earther? How could you prove that? Like, a guy could put up 1,000 flat earth videos. You still can't prove that he actually believes it. He could be putting out the content in order to slip in some disinfo every now and then. You see what I'm saying? So skepticism's healthy. Hyper-skepticism, calling everybody a shill, I don't know. But what do you guys think about that united idea? Like, what if they're pulling us into all of these popular channels for a reason, to push something else? know they want us to be all united, regardless of what we are. I think it's anti-biblical, personally. But what do you guys think? Because I feel like if we get, it's becoming too trendy. You see what I'm saying? Like, people are jumping on the trend of flat Earth, blah blah blah. You don't know who's who now. It's trendy to be a flat earther, just like it's trendy to be a truther. But how many fake truther channels do we see? So we got, the more people jump on this flat Earth bandwagon, the more fake flat earthers we're gonna see. It doesn't do any good.
That's my whole thing, Arcane, in a nutshell. And I'm glad you said that, because there is that flat Earth is blowing up, but blowing up with who? Who are all these flat earthers? I see a whole lot of people saying they become flat earthers, but what's your evidence that we're not on a spinning web ball rocket? And more importantly, where's your face in this game? Where's your content in this game? Who are you? And I have a big issue as well. I know so do you. Somebody that claims truth, but rejects Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I could care less that you know the earth is flat. Whoop-de-doo. I could take you to a flat dance floor. It doesn't mean you can dance.
Right.
We got in here none of that video.
Right, are you giving it to Jesus? Because, you know, even Candy, I brought a lot of people to flat earth. My daughter Kendra here will tell you, Rand's brought a lot of people to flat earth. In the real world.
Yeah.
I don't know about here on the internet. I don't count what's going on, but she'll tell you, I sit and talk to people and I hit them with conversation where, you know, they got to question their own stupidity.
No, you stop people in the middle of the street. That's what you do.
But I'm so sick of people saying somebody's not a real flat earther because they haven't done anything for flat earth. Some people don't feel comfortable being activists. Some people don't feel comfortable spreading truth like that. Although they know it's true, it doesn't make them any less of a flat earther than you or I or the next person.
And I'm okay with that too, Candy. I'm okay with that. But I'll tell you what I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with Christians. Hey, G Conscious, what's up, brother? And Victoria, I'm not okay with flat earthers that put down Christians or that put down God or that mock my scripture. And I'm okay with anybody saying you're a flat earther, whether you are or whether you are not. You are still promoting flat earth. God bless you. But the minute you say flat earth and F Jesus, flat earth, but there's no God, flat earth, but I'm going to be the God. We're going to go to the other side of that ice wall and have our own continents and our own worlds, and we're going to be gods. And the minute you start removing my Jesus, I could care less how much flat earth you know. I know about as much about flat earth as anybody. And it's not about how much flat earth I know. For me, it comes down to who are you bringing to the Lord? Flat earth is your flat earth discussion glorifying God. That's my bottom line. Okay, I got a couple people in the room here talking doctrine. What's going on, brother? You want in, Matt? I think I already sent you an invite anyways, so. But yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you, Arcane? Flat earth, yay. Whoop-de-doo, we could have a flat earth parade. But unless you're bringing somebody to the Lord, for me, your flat earth holds no weight. We already know the earth is flat. You knowing it's flat didn't make it flat. You didn't discover flat earth. It was flat before you got here. So for me, it's not about the earth being flat. It's about who you give the glory to. Do you give the glory to Jesus? Or are you trying to take it for yourself or spread it amongst a small group of flat earth celebrities? Let's get real.
Yeah, it's becoming a cult, a hashtag. And yeah, man, it should be a biblical movement, not a flat earth movement. That's why I've never trusted the flat earth movement. whatever they want to call it, flat Earth community. You know, they're talking about, oh, how come Bob didn't check in with the flat Earth community? Why would he want to check in with y'all? Y'all can't even agree on half of y'all, you know, Muslim, half of y'all Black Hebrew Israelites. Y'all don't know what y'all want to be. So, you know, what do you need to check in with y'all for? You know, it's it has to be biblically based, man. If it's not biblically based, you could see it when you watch the hangouts. They have no direction. You know, they don't know what they want to do. They're just waiting on somebody to tell them something, tell them what's next. You know, what we gonna do next? We need to attack, you know, NASA. We need to attack the government. We need to demand answers, not realizing that the answers were in the scriptures the whole time. We don't need to be fighting them. We need to be saving souls and going after people and waking them up to whatever truth we need to get them to see the truth of the scriptures that's laid out for us. You know, cast down arguments, not to argue with them, but just to show them the folly of their ways, you know, by setting examples, having this hangout, putting the truth out there. A lot of people are afraid of it. So I don't like to associate with the flat earth community. I don't care about that. Like I said, if they're not, like you said, Rand, if it's not biblical, if they're not bringing people to God, it's for some selfish gain. It's to be a part of something worldly, and we see what that leads to. So yeah, man, don't go trying to burn down NASA. I mean, by all means, exercise your rights to protest, exercise your right to freedom of speech. Write your congressman if you think that's going to help. I don't think so, because I think, you know, of course, I know it's all fake, but voice your opinion. But don't think that it's some sort of battle that we, the people, are going to win over something that's ordained by God to happen. It's not going to happen, y'all. Flat Earth was going to be revealed by the grace of God. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, some truther gave us flat Earth and now we're all flat Earth. You see what I'm saying? You know, they're going to immortalize Eric Dubay and all these people for being the flat Earth, the modern flat Earth leaders of this Renaissance. But I'm not with that, man. It was laid out in the Bible for thousands of years, and now people want to claim, you know, none of these people are Christians. Look at the main flat Earth, mainstream flat earthers. They're all non-Christians. You realize that? Like these people getting millions of views on flat Earth. It ain't Christians. Eric Dubay, he's not a Christian. Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer, none of them. So, what kind of unity are they talking about? What kind of flat Earth community do they want? That's my question. Yo, can anybody hear me out there? Is anybody here?
Sorry, I was getting out of my car. I was pumping gas and stuff, and it was loud.
My mic is muted.
It's all good.
Hear me?
Stay at the house. Like you literally go to sleep every time we get in a car.
Sorta.
Okay, yeah, because we got a call in. You know, I bought Candy the toll-free number 1833. It's flat.
Ha!
Anybody calls 1833, it's flat. They're gonna reach this show.
What's my money? That's awesome. Ha!
Here's a call. Here it's Shanna Honey. Just a sec. I want to hear if you guys can hear. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's loud.
For extension 1.
Hi, Shanna. How are you?
Good. You're not able to do your.
I think Candy has to mute.
Shanna? Can you guys hear Shanna?
A little bit.
Speak, Shanna. Okay, I got to let Shannon go because I can't do both at the same. I'm getting a new speaker system, so yeah. I love you, Shannon. We're gonna let you go, but I'm gonna call you more if you want. But I'm gonna go back to the show. These guys can't hear. Maybe I can change a few things while I'm here. You here, Kendra?
Yep. Can I hear you? I can hear you.
Can you hear Shannon?
Nah. Well, I can hear it a little bit.
A new speaker system. All right, I'm gonna let you go, Shanna. We'll talk tomorrow. What's going on there, Candy? What do you got going on?
We're in the store. These are my friends' kids. They had to come get something to eat, so I came went and picked them up and took them to the store. Look at these fools.
You guys are playing around in America.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Arcane, are you there?
Yeah, bro. What's up?
You sound like you're half asleep.
I want to stay on topic with this, B.O.B. and the shells, and because it is an important conversation to have, I think.
Well,
so your thoughts?
Well, like I was saying, I'm more concerned about
another YouTuber. I won't mention.
Randy, you're cutting in and out.
Yeah, was it just me?
No, he's cutting. Get it together, Papa Smurf. So what do you think, Arcane? In the next few days, we're going to see a bunch of conspiracy videos posted, if not already, about that whole thing?
Yeah, man. Where's Russian vids when you need them, man?
I'm excited to see it all.
Yeah, man. It keep people busy while they think of something else to do. Something else to hit us with.
Exactly. It's just so weird. Like, we just had all those storms. And like you said, Hugh Hefner died. And then this. And somebody else died today. What was his name? Tom Petty. Tom Petty died of a heart attack today. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it's almost Halloween and all that. Yeah, so who knows what they got coming. I know the signs are here that something is coming. But I knew when the Flat Earth was released that there would be an avalanche of distractions, because I knew Flat Earth was a distraction, even though it's the truth.
Right.
I know it's a distraction. As long as people are investing their time looking up curvature on the internet, they're not looking at what the beast is doing. So what the beast is doing is laid out in the scriptures, and people have their nose everywhere else. So I'm sitting back watching it happen like a real life movie and just keep staying in prayer. But I'm just aware of the fakeness. I'm aware of the fake unity, you know what I'm saying? The fake love, you know what I'm saying? Like Drake said, I'm just seeing fake love everywhere. Like, people want to be down with something, but they really don't even know what they're doing. And most of these people just buy anything. Like, how many people donated to B.O.B.'s stupid GoFundMe? And then people are like, oh, he's asking for money. Like, how could he do that? Well, people are giving him money. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? As long as people are distracted doing that, they're not looking at the book of Revelation. They're not looking at the signs that are right in front of us and urging people to repent, yo. Because I don't know about y'all, but I feel it. Like, I feel the spiritual warfare going on. It's very real. We're not just fighting dudes with ideas. We're fighting demons with agendas.
Oh, we're definitely fighting demons. That's guaranteed. And they definitely got an agenda.
Right.
Did you see my video today, RK?
No, what was it about?
All these people are.
I did manage to catch that because that was right after Paula's, right? I did manage to listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's if you're gonna deny sin, the your true line is that you are serving Satan, whether you know it or not. That he knows you know better. If you're turning up Beyonce, or if you're drinking Red Bull, or if you're any kind of satanic worship idolization, you're serving Satan, period. And it doesn't matter that you know he exists. He could care less if you know. The people that you believe they exist, right? Exist, and you're worshiping her while she believes to him.
Oh, he would rather you believe in nothing than to believe in Jesus, period.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, basically, you are serving Satan, whether you believe in him or not, or if you're not in Christ, then that's it.
Guy in the side chat says most flat earthers are unstable.
Yeah, it's because we've been spinning around on this ball.
and it really depends on who you ask.
Yeah, we just got off a spinning ball, guy. What do you expect, man?
Right?
by whose opinion? Like,
crazy.
Yeah. We're all rocket, and you think we're unstable.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Phil.
No, but the absurdity of the globe is just so effing laughable, man. Like, it's just so crazy.
It doesn't even make sense.
Oh, it's so bad. I feel so like, man, like I mean, come on, man. I've seen so much in my life, and I've believed so many wacko things, right? I used to believe in aliens, for crying out loud. But the ball Earth is just so crazy. Like, how could I ever conceive of that and really legitimize it? Like, yeah, we're totally spinning at 1,000 miles per hour and going millions of miles through the galaxy, but I can't feel it because of some magical forces.
I can't even go on the merry-go-round. If we were doing all that, I would be vomiting like permanently.
Yeah.
But people defend it like, oh my goodness.
Because that's all they know and that's all they want to know. They're ignorant to their own ignorance. I don't know. When I started learning about flat Earth, that just brought me closer to God. So that was a blessing.
Right.
For real. That's exactly how it happened for me. Like, I believed in Jesus, but I wasn't in Christ.
Right.
I
Yeah.
could have
and once you get that real truth, those blinders off you, you're like, oh wow, okay.
And the Bible's been so
hard to realize.
Yeah, the Bible's so accurate and correct. Like, how can you deny it? I don't know.
You start to realize all those scriptures that you read that were flat earth scriptures that you had no idea at the time. You go back and read them and you're like, dang, everything is describing a flat earth.
I'm in the process of just going through the reading the whole Bible all over again because now I understand it differently than I used to, I guess. So I want to go through and go through it all over again, and that's what I'm in the midst of doing. Just because I was so young when I did learn it. Right. And now my eyes are open to so many different things. It's like a whole different meaning to me now, right? I think everybody should do that.
Because it's something you experience now. It's not some sort
Right.
of abstract theological doctrine that you can wrap your head around. It's just something like, okay, it's describing what I'm seeing. A flat earth, a motionless earth, like, wow, God's creation is beautiful. Like, it just puts it front and center. Was everything you were taught before was basically taught to you to remove the idea of God being front and center and his creation being divine. Flat earth is undeniable. Undeniable.
Totally. I totally agree.
So flat earthers have been jumping from conspiracy to conspiracy, and they live all their lives, and now they believe they finally got it right.
Well, I'm glad he knows what I'm doing in my personal life, apparently.
Yeah, because I never really was into conspiracies. I watched Loose Change, and I did realize that 9/11 was staged and all our own government. But I never really, I studied the JFK thing in like the 7th grade, so it always was in the back of my head. But I never was headstrong into anything. I was not a conspiracy person at all. I found, I was into like the whole music industry, and I knew about all that, but I wasn't into conspiracies. That was the only one, like the whole music industry, the whole Hollywood scene, really. But other than that, I wasn't a conspiracy person. I found flat earth and found truth. That's it.
Anybody bringing up the term conspiracy theorist or believing in conspiracies, you're either a noob or you're a shill at this point. Like, the government created the term conspiracy theorist to discredit people from looking up true conspiracies. So to think that there aren't conspiracies going on is like the height of ignorance. But there's a lot of noise.
Yeah, they also came up with flat earth nutters. The whole concept that you would be insane if you didn't believe NASA and that we were on a spinning wet ball rocket. It's very common.
Right.
It's like a husband cheating on a wife or a wife cheating on a husband. And then, the spouse starts to investigate the relationship, process through inconsistencies, and goes, this doesn't seem right, or that doesn't seem right. Before you know it, they realize they're being cheated on. And it's at about that point that the person cheating on them, lying to them, starts to call the other person insane or crazy, or you're a mental patient, you need to go to the nut house. And that's a common way to get people to shut up, because nobody wants to think they're losing their mind or they're crazy. So the minute you question authority, they're going to call you, you're crazy, you're unstable, you're mentally ill, because that's the best tool they have to getting people to shut up. But guess what? You're talking to real truthers on Flat Out Elected. These are real warriors. These are people that have been through all the shills. Arcane and I went right through the front line, right through it. We were the ones that actually barreled through the atheists back 3-4 years ago when we were fighting atheists at Earth Tip. So we've been through the front lines, which is atheism, to get to where we are now fighting this truth. And if you think your little shill remarks are going to stop us, you're out of your mind. Let me explain this to you. I'm going to just lay it down like this. Mental disorder, if the truth movement, from 9/11 being an inside job to the hoaxes, to the chemtrails, to the vaccines, to GMOs, to DUMBs, all the way to flat earth. If you say that we have a mental disorder, that the only remedy the government has come up with is to mock us. You don't think that if there was an absolute mental disorder crazy in this world, because it's apparently the first contagious mental disorder, a contagious one.
Where's the vaccine for that?
That's crazy, right?
It's a mental disorder because we are disorderly now.
right? Because we are no longer in order. But if there is truly a mental disorder, why have they not collectively come together to try to help us? Are we not still citizens? Are we still not human beings? Should we still not be loved and cared for? Is it not wrong to make fun of the mentally handicapped? Is
They
it
gave
not
us Neil deGrasse
right?
and his mic drop. That's what they gave us.
That's what they give us. They give us mocking and insults. So either we're telling you the truth, or there is a disease, a mental disorder that's happening, and it's contagious, which has never happened before in the history of mental diseases, that other people are catching it. Because this wake up started off with 10 people to 20,000 to 100,000. Flat Earth is in the millions now. Millions of people are beginning to realize this world is a satanic ritual, and we've been nothing but lied to. So either there is a mental disorder that is contagious and sweeping this world, and your politicians, your experts, the only thing that they're doing is mocking it. Red flag to you. That should make you go, wait a second. Is a mental disorder sweeping the world? Why is our government not trying to figure out a way to help these people? And why are they not given the evidences to bring them back to this spinning wet ball rocket when they have 19 billion a year, 50 million a day? They could easily show us that we're wrong. Why can't they just show us the curve? Why can't they do that? The reason why is because there is no curve, and they know we're right. So we're not crazy. We're actually the ones that probably out of the group of people living in this world are more
Wait. Let me stop you there. I found the way to find the curve. You guys just throw out those great lenses that you have, like the P900. You're never going to see it that way. You have to go get you a GoPro, a fisheye lens. You go get you one of them, and then you'll find the curve.
Yeah. At 10 feet elevation.
On the ground even.
Right.
Hey, if they want to
You there, Ryan?
prove it to me, is take the zoom bottom real, zoom over to the Super Bowl, zoom down to the 50-yard line, let me match it up against my television so that I can see that it's in real time. Then without editing, zoom all the way back to your space station and let me see what's on the fourth wall. Show me what's behind the camera. I want to see you zoom right in to the ISS and then show me behind the wall. Show me the fourth wall. If you can't do that, then all you're doing is mocking those that say we're on a flat earth.
They could easily prove it.
Of course they could do that. Of course they could. Greatest event in the history of the world. Literally the biggest television event in history. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to prove that the Earth is, in fact, a spinning wet ball rocket. We're going to zoom on the bottom of the water of the Atlantic Ocean when it's upside down, and we're going to show you upside down sailboats, fishing boats, cargo boats, a cruise ship. We're going to show you all these upside down boats, upside down buildings with workmen climbing upside down on ladders to get to the top of the roof. We're going to show you all the upside down stuff happening on the bottom of the ball, and then we're going to zoom all the way around to America, and we're going to zoom right down on the 50-yard line and watch some of the Super Bowl together from the International Space Station. Then we're going to pull away into the space station, and you're going to see the fourth wall. The entire world would watch that event. It would be the biggest event in history of this world. And they can do it.
Pay-per-view special.
Honestly, it would be bigger. It would be bigger than any fight, any UFC, any boxing event, any soccer event. It would be better than any event A royal wedding would have nothing. What's all that banging, Candy?
Hey,
The
that's
royal
not me
wedding
this
would-
time.
Who's banging? The royal wedding would have nothing on this. About it, it would be the greatest event in history. Period. Turn the TV on for that hurricane?
Sure, why not?
No, I would go there and watch it live. Wherever they are broadcasting it, like on a huge big screen. You know, like they do the SpaceX's and like where the employees are. That's where I'm gonna be.
I'm not going anywhere where there's a mass crowd anymore.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
that's
the
smart.
point is, though, like, the point is, I think there's enough proof that the earth is flat already that if people are on board by now, they're not gonna be. Yeah,
Right.
there's still a few people who haven't looked into the information or whatever. But anyone who comes across the information, they don't need any more proof. They're just more so asking the people who are opposing them, the globe heads, to do this, to satisfy this. Well, if the earth is a ball, why can't you do this? You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we already know at elevation, if you look at the horizon and you're seeing, I don't know, 100 miles of it, and there's no curvature, your ball earth is pretty much destroyed because all of that Pythagorean math has to work for your whole solar system heliocentric garbage to work. So if the ball doesn't fit the specs that you said it does, which is 25,000 miles in circumference, demanding, what was it, 6,666 feet of curvature over 100 miles, it's not a ball. And you need to let it go. But they won't. If you show them that and they still can't see it, they don't want to. They're
Yeah, I
not going
think
to.
that if you show somebody this and they actually, you know, pay attention and hear what you're saying and understand, and they still refuse to get it after so long, they're not going to. It's yeah, I don't know what it is. There's something
That's
like their programming is very, very strong and it's not going to release itself. But I don't know. It blows my mind when I say all this stuff to people and they're still arguing the theories or made up beliefs to my face, and I'm just like, oh.
It's because
Seriously?
people listen to respond, not to understand. That's
Yeah,
why.
true.
Exactly. They want to prove the globe with, like you said, pseudoscience, made up theories,
Yeah, like
stuff
people that
we
I
can
tell
never experiment on.
when I'm driving Uber, you know, they're like, well, what do you just you have a goal to prove that it's flat? And I'm like, not even necessarily that. Like, I that would be awesome if it would happen, but I don't think that it will. But my goal is to tell as many people the truth that I can. And if it comes out, it comes out. But if it doesn't, then at least that I knew the truth and I got as many people as I could the truth along the way, you know.
Right.
They can take it or leave it, but at least they found the root of the truth, and then they could. That's why I tell them, like, you can choose to look it up when you get out of the car, or you can choose to forget it and think I'm some crazy old lady. But
A lot of people just choose to ignore it. I feel like they just put it out their mind and they don't want to confront that truth. A lot of Christians do that too. It's pretty sad. Something that glorifies the Creator, God, Yahweh. They don't want to look into it.
that's
They
what
say you're
really
foolish.
blows my mind. And people who call themselves truthers, like on these, you know, alternative news channels and stuff, and then they refuse to look at flat
Right.
Earth. And it's like, how can you consider yourself even a truther if you won't even explore the option of it being something? I mean, you just completely shut it down before you even open a book.
How can you be a Christian? Argue scripture that absolutely leans
I did it again.
to us being on a flat earth. Right?
Yeah, because if you just read the Bible literally, without the idea of the ball in your head, like that's what I tell people. Like, I'm gonna tell you this Bible verse and take out the ball image that you have already. And if you listen to this without that idea in your head already, what do you hear? I mean, you're going to hear that it's a ball because that's what you were taught. But if you take that out of your mind because you didn't find that out, you got told that. You know, so if you take that and open your mind blankly read that, then it's just literal words, and I'm not even making any dang sense trying to spit this out of my mouth. But just I don't know. That's what I tell everybody. Just take what you've been told out of your head, and then read the Bible verses, because then you'll see what it says. I mean, it says the earth is flat all over it.
Yep. People are in denial, just like the 24 soccer accounts who dumbed down the video that we're doing right now. Like, said nothing but troll the side chat, but you come here to thumb down the video. I'm sure you're more than welcome to call the toll-free number. What is it?
1-833 it's flat.
1-833 it's flat. And feel free to call in and air out your grievances. But if you're a real flat earther, I just say hit the thumbs up. Let us know you're for real. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of fakes out there.
Okay,
everybody-
I'm gonna read.
See the videos.
Everybody else
Yeah,
thumbs it up in the chat area.
I just had to go thumbs
All
up.
right,
I
I'm
did
gonna
correct.
I'm going to read Job 38:14. This is what God says the earth looks like. Job 38:14. For those of you that have your Bibles ready. The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. Have you guys ever seen when you do a letter or a document and they pour wax onto the document and then stamp it with a ring? So they stamp the seal. Says the earth looks like. He says the earth looks like for a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment.
It's not hard to understand that that's not a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell everybody about the Jesus preaching on Mount Meru that you told me to, where he says that the earth is the Lord's footstool.
Yeah, Jesus Christ said it, because a Christian said to me, if you can show me Jesus isn't a ball, I might believe you. So I said, all right. And I looked and found it in the Sermon on the Mount. Lady, do me a favor, Candy, if that's your wind blowing in the car, while you're not
It
talking.
might be. It might be. I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
It's okay, dear. It's okay. I noticed. That's all that matters. There you go. That's beautiful. Truth sometimes is found in silence. So Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, he said, do not make oaths on the heavens, for the heavens are God's throne. Oaths on earth, for the earth is God's footstool. Now, is Jesus an idiot? Does he not know what a footstool looks like? You think he just threw that word out there because he couldn't say ball in the moment, that he couldn't go, well, it's a spinning wet ball rock? You think he didn't know?
Well, he didn't have his feet up on a wet yoga ball, that's for sure.
Right?
He's sliding off and bouncing all over the place.
Right? So, I mean, the Bible is 100% clear, and Jesus Christ verifies it in the greatest sermon in the history of history. There is no greater sermon than the Sermon on the Mount. Point blank. So you don't need to go much.
Randy, you're cutting out.
Other than that, amen. Yeah, people need to start liking this video, or sharing it would be nice. You know that we actually hit today, Arcane? We got 1,600 subscribers now, finally.
We got 20 likes and 29 dislikes right now. Everybody liked the video. The trolls are killing it. Back to the bridge.
They must really like to hear about it. That's all I have to say, because they're always here.
Oh, it's they don't have a hobby. Or that is
They're
their hobby. You have fans. Yeah, I don't have haters, I have fans.
Yeah, their fans are flat Earth, but they're too coward to say it in public, and they're too coward to
We
argue
30,
against it.
person.
look, 31. You guys are crazy.
There's not even that many people been watching.
That's what I'm saying. We have 25, 24 right now. It's like they come in, dislike it, and go back out.
And get another soccer account and go back and come back. Yeah. They have 30 soccer accounts just to downvote our videos.
Wow.
Chills.
Must
I
live a
tell you,
lonely
those
life.
Chills. Yeah. It's
Sit in their
probably
mom's basement.
JD Kane with his 30 soccer accounts. I mean, these people admit it too. They tell you, yeah, I've got 30 soccer accounts. It's no big deal. It's like, yeah, buddy.
Wow.
You have no life at all.
Like, leave your mom's basement and go get some sunlight.
Right. They'd probably kill them if they went out in the sun. Probably burn up like vampires. Come on, guys. We love you anyway. It's all good. Earth is still flat. You're not spinning. It's okay.
Where'd Randy go?
I'm right here. I'm just dealing with somebody who was messaging me on Facebook from my church. My stepson, Arcane, when I was in Canada back in June, July, I went and met with my stepson and his girlfriend. Started talking flat earth, and she jumped right up. I was like, oh my God, I'm a flat earther. Oh, cool. Okay. That. And he looks at her and goes, you're a what? She goes, I believe in flat earth. He goes, are you crazy? And he looked back at me and goes, do you believe in flat earth, Brand? I go, absolutely. He goes, oh, I better look at this thing, because he knows the amount of research I put in throughout his life. I raised him from the age of 4. So he's been researching for the last couple of months. And the other day he sent me a few videos. It was like pretty hard to argue. Actually, he calls me on my 1833 it's flat number, laughing, and he goes, you know what? I can't believe it. The earth is flat. I can't deny it any longer. Because he had the courage to go do the research. He didn't want to know. He didn't want to know that the earth was flat. One of his things that made him think about it was the amount of gas he spent driving to Florida. He said, would I not be driving downhill? Why would I not be using less gas?
Or riding the brake.
If I'm driving right, if I'm driving downhill the whole way to Florida from Toronto. And then he started thinking about the CN Tower buildings. He works on 40, 50 floor buildings. And he started thinking about the CN Tower sideways on the earth as it's spinning around. And he just couldn't wrap his head around it. Now he contacted me. He was like, that's it. It's flat. You're right.
Yeah. The only thing spinning is a revolving restaurant on the CN Tower. That's about it.
Right? And now I even think that the Globetrotters were mocking us, Arcane, when the Harlem Globetrotters were spinning the ball on their fingers, the basketball. I look at that now and I think, were you mocking us?
The Harlem Globe.
Well, I know our textbooks certainly were, dude, because I was a huge space nerd, and I believed all of it.
Well, when you said you believe in aliens, you're not completely wrong. Like Randy said, they're just fallen angels, demons.
Yeah. Well, I know that now. But
A satanic ritual. As soon as you realize that we are in a satanic ritual, you better figure out how to get out of it. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do with the truth. Or it does matter what you do with the truth. The truth is vital. Where the truth takes us is final. So where you know this truth, in a real place in your heart. Because this truth that we have, this truth of Jesus Christ being the Lord and Savior, that's final, man. You better leave here knowing that. Leave here knowing Jesus Christ. Before you leave, the Bible, a lot of people say the Bible stands for basic information before leaving earth. And the greatest information in that before leaving earth is to know Jesus Christ. And if you don't know Jesus Christ when you leave this place, be it flat, spinning, triangular, I don't care if we end up finding out we were on a big chocolate donut and nobody told me. When you leave, you better know Jesus Christ. Is a good wake up that you're going to at the very least realize there's a creator. Up your Bible and find out if the Bible is a flat earth book.
Hey,
And if it proves to be a flat earth book, you better get right with the Lord.
I want to talk to you. Remember, you know that Skype message I sent you, and I asked you to recite the Lord's Prayer to me? Not because I didn't know it. I asked you for a reason.
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Can I tell you why you asked me? Can I tell you why you asked?
Go ahead.
Been changed from trespassers to debtors.
Well, it's okay. So about a year ago, when I found out that the Bible, you know, the whole Mandela thing, which I still will never understand, but there is something happening definitely, because I freaked out when somebody pointed this out to me. Not only like before a year ago when I saw it, the Matthew changed from trespassers to debtors, but now it has changed even more. Now it. Well, you said in earth. I didn't ever remember it. I always thought it said on earth as it is in heaven. But now the whole Mr. Trespasses, it's not even in there. It's in the next verse after amen. And I was so freaked out when I read it. Like, I had my whole entire bed was full of Bibles. I had every single Bible in my house open, trying to find the right prayer, but every single one had it messed up and wrong, and it was not like that, because a year ago I had those same 20 Bibles freaking out because it had changed to debtors, and I know that word was never in the Bible, and every single Bible I had said it, but now it has changed again, and that completely blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the Bible can be changed. I don't think so. I just think maybe they have ways of plant things in our minds.
I don't know, because even like what is it in Isaiah, might not be there, the lion wolf now it says, but it used to say the lamb, and like all the Bibles say the wolf. But
yeah, it says the wolf now.
There's like illustration Bibles though, like children's Bibles, where it shows the lion and the lamb. It's like they forgot about the pictures, but the words say wolf.
Yep, it's true.
I'm not sure it's the Bible though. To be honest, I think the Bible is pretty.
But I mean,
I would say divine.
Okay. I had these Bibles are not new Bibles. I've had these same Bibles. I checked every single one of these Bibles and read the Lord's Prayer because I was like, no way. Like, and then you know, Daniel, I think said that to write the Bible on your heart, like to memorize it. And I heard if you don't know the Bible yet, then
you're cutting out really badly.
I forget all, man. I'm in a bad area. But I mean, the thing that gets me the most about it is we all say this: God is not the author of confusion. So, what are we supposed to know as truth if this is going on?
Right. I mean, that's why I would lean not on my own understanding and trust the Bible before I would trust anything else that my mind might come to, because they're very. You have to understand how much programming you've been under, and how many TV shows you've watched, and how many commercials you've watched, and how many, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta kind of, because if the Bible can be changed, that's your last hope of rationality.
Well,
If
we
you
know it
start to say,
can be changed, though, okay? Because God says in the book of Revelations, if anybody takes these words and removes or adds to them, wrath and famine will be placed
Right.
upon them. So if
He
you
knew
come
it
to
was
my
gonna
house,
happen.
Arcane, if you come to my house and it's literally impossible for you to take $20 out of my wallet, that there's no way it can be done, I would never, ever warn anybody about taking $20 out of my wallet if it's literally impossible to be done. God says point blank in Revelation, if anybody changes the words or adds to them, take a look at the Queen James Bible. Have you read the Queen James Bible? They're claiming that's the Bible, and they've altered words and made Jesus a homosexual. They've made Mary a lesbian, which is why she was still a virgin when she had Jesus. So
Queen Elizabeth is in the beginning too, in the
well,
in the beginning of the very first page of the Bible, where they have like the dedication to King James. It does not say King James anymore. It says Prince James, and Queen Elizabeth's name is in there.
well, if you
it's just very interesting. I would agree with Arcane in this. Hold tight to your Bible. Hold tight to Jesus Christ. Jesus said, when Peter got out of that boat and was walking on the water, Jesus was like, look, this is a good thing to think about. He said, look, things are going to be crazy. You're going to want to think you can handle this on your own understanding. What I'm telling you is keep your eyes on me. Peter looked down at the water. He started to sink. He was that it's very, very important that you keep your eyes on Jesus and Jesus alone, because we are in a time of great manipulation. Also, it said, God says very plainly in Scripture, going to be great illusions put on this world, so great that if possible, even the elect could be fooled. So I believe that the elect are not only, obviously Christians, but they're also the Christians that are awake and paying attention to the changes and the awareness of what's going on. Because I prayed, I said, Lord, I don't want to be deceived. And he said, you're not going to be deceived. And I was like, well, how am I not going to be deceived? And he showed me, he said, look at the Garden of Eden. Look at Genesis 3:6, when Eve was deceived by the tree. She wasn't deceived by evil. She was deceived by what was appealing to the eye, by what looked good. So he told me, he said, you're not going to be deceived because you're not going to be sucked in by what looks good. You're not going to be deceived by what's pleasing to the eye, as Eve was. And that's how he told me whatever is coming, these great deceptions are going to be pleasing to the eye. And if you are truly elect and awake and aware in Christ, you're not going to be that easily deceived. So my point is, keep your eyes on Jesus Christ.
Yeah, for sure. But the problem is, if you understand what I'm saying, is that if what you're saying is true about the Bible being changed, then there's no reason to trust what you say about Jesus Christ at all. And I looked at Psalm 12, where it says, for the words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. Thou shalt keep them, O Lord, thou shalt preserve them from this generation forever. The wicked walk on every side, and the vilest men are exalted. So men, what they can do is they can try to
your heart, in your spirit. Though, does it indicate where they're
his words? His words are pure. Now, listen to what you're saying, though. If it's preserved in your spirit, then you wouldn't be confused right now about whether or not it's been changed. You see, he's not talking
confused.
about confused in you. Well, I'm just saying for the people that are saying they're confused about what the Bible said before and what it's allegedly saying now, these people are confused. And the words of the Lord are pure as silver. try the furnace of the earth purified 7 times, he will preserve his words for this generation forever. So I'm just saying, if what you're saying is true, that they're changing these words, we shouldn't trust anything but we can't.
Okay.
By logic we can't. So I get what you're saying as far as hold on to Jesus Christ, but at the same token, what if somebody says next that they're changing the words that Jesus spoke out of his own mouth? They're changing everything he said on the Sermon on the Mount.
If it's in your heart.
Right, that's what Daniel said, to write the Bible in your heart. You're supposed to know it.
If it's preserved in your heart, to your spirit, then it is preserved like never before. I mean, Bible and wrote the Queen James Bible, which many people have read the Queen James thinking it is a real version of the Bible. They think it's a real version of the Bible. So just let that sink in for a minute. What I'm saying is this: I'm not by any stretch. I believe, to be honest with you, they are manipulation happening with time or whatever they're doing, and it's almost as if the Satan is manipulating a dual existence, and in one existence it's a little variation of the other, basically similar with slight changes and variations. I don't think it's real. I think it's an illusion, but I do think that he's manipulating a dual existence of duality. That's why you see a lot of these Satanists wearing double watches. They have 2 watches. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the videos of the dual watches that these guys wear. There is definitely, without argument, something happening. There's no happening in respects to this. There's way too much evidence that clearly there is something going on. Now you need to figure out through your discernment and your connection to Christ in pure and total will of spirit, because your spirit has a will written in it, and I believe within that will is your truth, which is why Jesus said he is the truth and life, and nobody gets to the Father but through him. And it also states that God is seeking those that worship in truth and in spirit. So when you connect them all into one breath, you better be in Christ when you're speaking to the Father and looking for your discernment. And the truth of the matter is that, yes, there is something going on there. You can't deny it. There is an absolute shift happening. Flat Earth came out of nowhere. The whole Black Hebrew Israelite thing is blown up. This truther movement is off the charts. The Mandela effect is, you can say, oh, that doesn't mean anything.
And the only thing
it means something to some people.
The only thing that saves us from that are his words, what he left behind. And of course, those that read the Bible and that are learned in the Bible have a remembrance of it. Like, we can quote maybe more Bible verses than the next person, but if his words can't be preserved as he promised he would, that's a problem. That's a real big problem. And I would rather give God more credit for being able to preserve what he left behind than Satan to remove him, because after all, he's had thousands of years to remove him. There are different versions out there where they've taken things out.
Here's what I'm going to say.
But the point is, his word has remained true and untested up until now, where people are saying, well, this Mandela effect can change what the Bible says. And I just disagree. I can't go there.
Again, you don't have to go there. I don't even know that the truth is that it did change it, or that there is something to it, because people say it did. 50% of the people say it didn't. Go into a restaurant and 50% of the people say that the hamburger was absolutely fantastic, best hamburger they ever ate, and the other 50% say it was the worst hamburger they ever ate. That means that something real has happened. So whether you fall on the hamburger was great side or the hamburger was horrible side, it is unimportant to me. What's important is that there is a division and something occurring. I say, even for me, Arcane, I'll tell you right now, I watched Risky Business with Tom Cruise back. You couldn't convince me that when he played in the kitchen, he wasn't wearing robe. I remember it as clear as day. You go on YouTube, there are hundreds of people impersonating that exact scene, and every one of them is wearing something you put on that movie now, and he was never wearing them. I'm not saying that the version of them is right. I'm not saying the version of him wearing them is right. I'm just saying that the people think he was. 50% of the people think he wasn't. Mandela effect.
Yeah, some crazy stuff, man. Like, I don't deny that there's something going on. I'm just not convinced that the Bible that has been there can magically be changed. How can you go back and change a Bible that's been there for hundreds of years? I don't know. So someone would have to show me proof of that. I can't go.
You want my opinion? Here's just my opinion. Has gone rogue. I think Satan has unleashed, said F it in the final days. I think he has told God to F off. I'm on my own for anything. I'm doing whatever I want. But it feels the deceptions just never end.
You're cutting out a little bit, Randy.
Mike, I ordered a brand new system, and anyways, let me just reboot.
Yeah, I just have so many fears with that. So, like, people can start saying, "Well, Jesus said this instead of that," and it's Mandela.
Is your problem with the Mandela effect, or just in the part with the Bible?
What's that?
Like, what aren't you believing? Are you not believing the Mandela effect altogether, or are you just not believing the changing of the Bible?
I have some questions about the Mandela effect altogether. Of course, I'm not sold on it. There's some creepy stuff that I've seen. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen stuff, and I'll be like, "Wait a minute, I remember something different." So now I'm questioning whether or not it's a human programming issue. Because think about it, mind control is very real, and they can implant things and then trigger you to remember certain things at a certain time. I don't doubt that either. So if we've been programmed by the TV all our life, and now they're introducing a Mandela effect, and now we're all triggered to seeing things, I would rather accept that before I can accept that people can start saying that the Bible doesn't really say what it's been saying for millennia.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I need something stronger than someone saying, "I could have swore it used to be like this." You know what I'm saying? I need something more.
It's not that it's not so much that, Arcane. It's not just that they could have swore. Is that there are churches named, and ministries named, the Lion and the Lamb. There are songs going way back that are the Lion and the Lamb. There are pastors that have been pastors for 40, 50 years that are going, no, it was always Lion and the Lamb. That are actual is that there is evidence Lion and the Lamb. No, it's Lion and the Wolf.
We had a picture of a
lion and a lamb.
What's the earliest script say?
Right. Well, hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, bro? Good to see you.
Hold on, TD.
Oh, not much. Hanging in there, doing well. Hope you guys are all doing the same. The Mandela effect, I actually do have a lot to say on, because when it first came out, it actually got me. I was like, wait a second. I remember that it said this. I remember that it said that. I remember the changes. So, I mean, I was being like Berenstein,
right.
The
Sex in the City, Sex and the City.
Right. Life is like a box of chocolates. Life was a box of chocolates. And so all the things that they came up, like Luke, I am your father, like all those things.
That one got me.
they got me. I was like, wow, I remember it. So this must have changed. And I'm like, what? It really confused me because I'm like, wait a second. I know there's no time, just like Arcane was just saying, God's the one preserving his well, actually no, because they didn't go to the Bible first. So I was confused on how it could happen. But then about 6 months into the whole Mandela thing, that's when they started bringing the Bible into it. And see, for me, I've been saved for about 9 years. And so when I've been able to come to a conclusion that the entire Mandela effect was an attack on the King James Bible, like directly on the King James Bible, and it's one that they've been setting up for decades. So let me get like doing a lot of research, all the different things, especially like Forrest Gump. When that movie came out, they had on the box, on the cover of the box, life was a box of chocolates. But in the movie, it is a box of chocolates. Like they literally produced both of them in different places. So it's very possible that you heard both of them. And that's how it
Watch
actually
this.
Go ahead.
So I was very interested in this and never allowed it to grab hold of me. But I remember in the 1990s, every girlfriend I ever had loved that TV show, Sex in the City. Turns out it was never Sex in the City. It was Sex and the City.
Well,
however,
right, on that one,
well, almost done. However, on the awards night when it won like 9 or 10 awards, every single person on all award shows said, and the winner is Sex in the City. Every award show get it wrong.
well, on that one, my wife actually is like, she always knew that it was going to be, or she always knew it was Sex in the City, Sex and the City. But everyone always said, even when she was watching it all the time, everyone was always calling it Sex in the City.
I used to watch that every Sunday with Desperate Housewives, and I own the movie, and now it says and now, but it was never and. I even had the perfume. It was Sex in the City.
I hear you, but my wife was like, I wasn't with her at the time, but it was, she identified herself as who? Well, she doesn't. She doesn't want to be involved, but she really liked the show, and she knew it was always Sex and the City. Like she's always had them, and it's always read Sex and the City.
Yeah, I remember that
from the beginning. But
isn't that interesting? Because this is why I say something has actually happened.
Well,
that she thought it was Sex in the City.
We've been programmed,
I don't care that Candy thought it was Sex in the City. That's not the issue. The issue is that 50% believe it's one way, 50% believe it's another way. Now, let me ask you this: have you ever heard of Corvette station wagons? Did Corvette ever have a station wagon?
I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
You now, apparently.
Right.
That sounds like an oxymoron. That sounds like a complete oxymoron.
Huge in the 1970s. Google Corvette station wagon. They were huge in the 1970s, and the Corvette and the Mustang station wagon was huge. Station wagon. I'm sorry, brother. I was a Corvette fanatic in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I never heard of a Corvette station wagon. Google it. You're going to see all kinds of them.
No, I hear you. And they're outside of the Bible. I can't stand as strong and firm. But see, for me, like I said, I got saved 8 years ago. I was 29 years old. And even the very first time I read the Bible 8 years ago, long before the Mandela effect came out, I read The Lion and the Wolf. And I was like, wait a second, that's weird. Everyone always sings Lion and the Lamb, but it says right here Lion and Wolf. And that was 8 years ago. And everyone had always been saying Lion and Lamb.
Yeah.
But the first time I read it and every other time I've read it, it's always said Lion and Wolf.
Yes.
So like when they started bringing out all these supposed changes in the
Mhm.
King James, they all seemed to be things that stuck out to me from the beginning. So I was able to say, well, I know for a fact that the King James has read it this way for the past 8 years. So that was my main thing. Because whenever I started doing research in the non-biblical stuff and realized, wait, they've been actually planning this. Even the Nelson Mandela, they said that he had died 20 years ago, and then they also said he just died recently. So you can find the reports from 20 years ago and recently. So they both were put out, and so it's like they were hoping.
When were banks invented, TD? When were banks invented?
Well, banks have been around for a long time.
Were there banks back in the days of Jesus?
Hey, Randy, what's
Yeah.
another good example? They changed from wine sacks to bottles. They didn't have bottles back then. They had wine sacks.
Well, no. We'll see. The wine skins to bottles. No,
Wine skin. Sorry, is what I meant to
because-
say. Sorry.
Right. No, but that's fine because one of my very first Bible studies was like, wait a second, they had bottles back then. I didn't know
Right?
they made glass. Well, because the King James Bible always said bottles, and
Right.
someone told me like, no, that's actually, it says bottles, but it's actually wine skins, and then told me
Wine skins. Yeah.
how it worked. But it always said bottles because that was one of my questions. I raised my hand, was like, did they have glass bottles back then? And they're like, no. It just
Yep.
it says bottles. So when the Mandela effect came out and said, oh, they changed it to bottle, I'm like, no. I remember asking that question in a Bible study, going, wait a second, I didn't know they were making glass bottles back in Jesus's time.
Yeah, he was drinking a Coca-Cola.
Right. So like I got to go through, but they tried bringing up.
They've also changed it to wolf because that represents Satan, right?
Well, actually, you go to another version and it does say wolf. So that's why I say it's an attack on the King James Bible, because a lot of the times on these mix-ups, if you look in the other version, it's exactly what the other version says. So somebody may have heard that before, but they were being quoted a different version. It was never the King James. Like the King James is the only one that's ever said bottles.
I only remember it as Lion of the Lamb.
Every other version says wineskin.
Mm-hmm.
But the King James is the one that's the only one that's always said bottles.
Okay, so here's without staying on this subject too long, there's other things we should be talking about, but conclusion. Something, if it's nothing else, at the very least, it's a issue, because I truly believe one way and others believe another way. And I asked 10 women about the Sex in the City or Sex and the City, and they all said, 100% Sex in the City, and we're wrong. So the point is that whatever it is going on, you can't deny it, because you can't be wrong 100% of the time. Close up on this if you want, TD, and then I want to get on to flat Earth stuff, and as well this Vegas shooting, and I want to hear your thoughts on the Vegas shooting.
Right. No, for me, from my research, I just think that it was all planned, and our memories are fallible. So if you've been given a couple different things from different places, you're not always going to be able to recall. The thing about the Sex and the City thing, though, is like my wife, even back when it was big time on HBO or Showtime, whichever one it was coming on, it always said Sex and the City, and she would say, like, even then people were calling it Sex in the City. She's like, why do people call it Sex in the City? It's Sex and the City.
I remember that. Yeah.
And so she, like, that's one of the reasons why she knows it's never changed, because people have been doing it since she was watching it. Like it didn't change for her. She just heard everybody saying it, and people used to try to correct her when she would say Sex and the City. And
Well, I'll tell you what. every single, listen to me, Google the awards, every single award that are in the business of remembering lines and reading teleprompters and reading lines written right in front of them. Sex in the city. I'm sorry, but if an entire television awards night with 9 different award presenters, because they won like 9 awards, if they all say sex in the city, about I could care less if my great-great-great-grandmother thinks it was, the Lion and the Lamb. It was the Lion and the Wolf. The point isn't that there was a error in the spelling, writing, or pronunciation. Here's the problem. Most of the people are not getting along on any of these issues. Period.
Right.
So if something's happening, whatever it is, something's obviously happening. Whether it be programming or Mandela effect, something's going on.
Humans have been programmed to basically reject the Bible. I mean, if you look throughout history, I think that's been the trend of these psychopaths, Satanists, whatever you want to call them. They want to promote everything anti-scripture. And I think TD, pretty much expressed his feeling. He thinks that it's an outright attack on the King James, and I'm inclined to agree. I'm not a King James onlyist kind of person, but the more I'm looking into things, man, the King James is pretty solid comparatively to the others. And like I said, I'm willing to bank. If I'm going to bank on the Bible being changed as opposed to my mind being altered and having false memories implanted by a bunch of Masonic Muppets, I'm going to go with the Muppets in my fallible brain before the word of God. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. Other issues, I think we need to look into how we're being deceived in that way, to be honest. How is it possible that they can pull off? Because like TD said, there's something they had to plan for. It's the same cycles that planned 9/11, etc. Like they had it planned out from the time they built the building that they were going to bring it down at a specific time 33 years later. They knew that. So, yeah, man, Satanists are pretty clever, but they're not smarter than God. So,
well, I was going to say that's my big thing is because if the Bible can be changed, faith cometh by hearing, hearing by the word of God. And so that's how people get saved. And if you can't trust the Bible to be God's word, then you can't trust it enough to rest in the finished work of Christ. And, I'm not a King James onlyist, but I do think that the King James is the only one without errors or omissions. There's some versions out there that don't really have any errors, but with the omissions, it still can lead somebody into a works-based gospel. So I'm not a King James onlyist, but I always recommend for somebody who is saved and wants to grow in the Lord to include the King James in their with their reading. If you read the ESV mainly, or read some of the King James when you get to passages that you can just there's spiritual truth in it. Read them in both versions. But I do think that the Mandela effect is an attack against the King James, because it's the only one that they're trying to say changed. I don't think I don't think anybody can be outside of the bounds of time except God. So I don't think anybody can go back and change things. I don't think the devils have that ability. I think they're bound in time, like especially when they're like, are you talking to Jesus? Have you come to torment us before the time? And Satan knows that his time is short. I think that they're bound by time, and they want people to think that time travel is possible and butterfly effect type stuff going. and I think it'll be used along with the Great Deception. When it culminates. But yeah, the Mandela effect. It's a tough one on the things outside of the Bible, but there hasn't been one example, one presentation of a King James Bible version being changed that I can't give you a personal story on why I know that it hasn't changed for at least 8 years. Because that's what it's been since I've been reading it.
We can accept that and move on. Okay, so thoughts, TD, because obviously you're American. So what are your initial blow-up thoughts on this shooting in Las Vegas? How has your spirit responded to it? Is it, in your opinion, a hoax? Is it real? Is it kind of real, sort of not, a little bit fake? What are your thoughts?
Well, I got on, I flipped in through Facebook this morning, and it was like every thread, Las Vegas, Las Vegas, Las Vegas. I didn't know anything about it until then. And then looking into it, there's a lot of things that just don't make sense. I mean, I guess I don't really know what type of security they have inside of the casino, but if he had that kind of artillery up in his room, that seems a little suspicious. The fact, I wonder what floor he was on. I know it was in the 30s, but if it was 33, then I would claim false flag from the beginning. But either way, I do think it was more like an MK Ultra, like whether he, I think that he had been manipulated in his mind. He wasn't right, and I think there was actual killings, actual shootings. But I don't think. I mean, he was supposedly an anti-Trump. Like I think he was more of a patsy. I believe it was real. But I don't think the guy was mentally stable enough, or was MK Ultra. So that's from what little research that I've been able to do. I'm pretty sure that they were real bodies this time, real deaths, because not every false flag, not every event has deaths, but this one certainly did. But who was behind it? Was he a victim, or was he a domestic terror? I don't think he was a domestic terrorist. I think he was a patsy, a victim of one way, shape, or another, and it's to push forward an agenda. I do feel strongly on that. What are your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Barely, but we can.
I'm doing something. I'll be right back.
All right, no worries. Then what was the other thing that you were talking about? The shooting. No, and then there was another thing that you were talking about. So, Kendra, you're Rand's daughter?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's cool. It's good to meet you. He had talked about his daughter several times, I'd heard, and I'd seen you on here before, but I hadn't put two and two together, so that's cool. You're the one he went to go visit not too long ago?
Yep, that's me down in Toronto. I'm actually going out there to see him soon. We were talking about putting together like a little flat earth retreat in a year from now out in the Dominican for maybe a week. Get everybody out there. It'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. That would be awesome, actually.
Right? Just surrounded by truthers.
Right. Is anybody going to that thing in North Carolina?
No.
No, Canada, so no.
No. Yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm not
Nobody
going.
from that out elected. is going, I don't think. Arcane, are you going? Oh, he left.
No, where'd Arcane go? I just noticed that. No, he didn't leave, did he?
Well, he dropped out. I don't know if he left for the evening.
Who's that?
Pillbox just hopped in. He
Oh,
might
there
be
you go.
coming in.
Well, of course.
Hey, Pillbox, how's it going?
I want his opinion on this Las Vegas thing.
What's your opinion on it?
On the shooting?
Well, I watched a bit of it. I don't like the interviewees so far. They don't seem very authentic. The one had blood on her legs and said one of the victims died in her arms, but there was no blood on her upper body. And she seemed pretty calm for somebody that just had somebody die in her arms. Gun shooting. So I don't know. Again, I look at these events differently, I guess, from how most people do. Because for me, it's ridiculous. The interviews, these people just seem so calm. How they could be that calm?
Right. No, I agree. There are probably crisis actors there that they're interviewing that weren't even in the line of fire. It was probably a staged event, but I mean, hey, I don't think anybody died in Sandy Hook, so it's possible.
Well, something happened. Like I said, like I used the Twin Towers as a reference. They came down, just not the way they said they did. So something happened.
Right. I would agree.
Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, Earthlings.
Who's that?
Who
You don't recognize that voice?
Who day?
Von Hilton.
Who day?
What's going on, Von Hilton?
Who day? Ain't gonna watch no football no more.
What's going on with your boy in Las Vegas? I hear he was a pagan.
Ah man, wow, that is something else, buddy. I tell you, this is just really good stuff, man. Hey, I lost my VidMe channel over Las Vegas. Okay, so that's got to tell you a lot right there. Shut me down in a New York minute because I exposed the fact that the guy in Las Vegas, his girlfriend, is a Muslim. And we can't have that knowledge getting out to the people now, can we, folks? No.
Well, I seen a news report today in Canada, and they said that the guy had converted to Islam a week prior.
That's right. That's what this is all about.
I just had this argument on Facebook literally 5 seconds ago with some girl. They tried to say he was a Christian.
You didn't hear the first reports, the very first report, because this hit me late last night. And literally woke me up because my bed's right here. See, and I had it rolling during the night while I was sleeping, and it literally woke me up. The sound of an AK-47 is a very unique sound to me as a ex-military. So when I hear that sound, it's like, yep, I'm awake. But anyway, it woke me up. I'm listening to what's going on, and they're like, MSNBC and CNN are trying to say that this is a disgruntled Trump supporter, and it's like, disgruntled Trump supporter. Last I checked, Trump won. What are you guys talking about? But that was the first story that CNN and MSNBC wanted to spin, was that it was a disgruntled Trump supporter because he had guns. Because he had guns, So, but no. We found out later on that his girlfriend is from Indonesia. Indonesia is a Muslim country. She is a Muslim. And that he had converted to Islam. And Islam just fried his brain. And he went out and just slaughtered people, man. Because that's what the evil, vile little book down there says. I got a copy of the Quran. I got it down there. It's what that evil, vile book down there says to do. It says go out and kill the infidel. Kill him.
I'm glad you can confirm that, because I mentioned at the beginning of this that he was converted to Islam.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I lost my VidMe channel over it. Sure did.
Wow.
Yep. Shut me down in a New York Minute because I dared to put out the truth. Shame on me. Shame on me. I mean, you know, I'm just a racist and a bigot, right? For pointing out a 7th century cult that wants to kill me, I am a racist and a bigot. Because, see, unlike the Christians and the Jews, in the Quran, we pagans are to be put to death immediately, on sight. We don't get a chance to repent. We don't. It's in the Quran. You can read it for yourself. It's in the Quran. We pagans don't get a chance to convert to Islam. No. Only the people of the book get a chance to convert to Islam. The
So you're a
Christians and the Jews.
pagan.
Yes, ma'am. That's why I wear it is around my neck. Yeah. But anyway, so, you know, but yeah, so I was just so evil for pointing out the fact and getting that information out there that his girlfriend was a Muslim from Indonesia and that he quite possibly had converted. Now, at the time, I hadn't confirmed it. You know, at the time I said he might have, or he may possibly have converted, you know, and it warped his brain. Well, it turns out that was the case. So,
Right.
you know, and I have told people, I said, this vile book down here is the auspices of a cult. And what do cults do? They brainwash you. That's exactly what a cult does, is it brainwashes you. And that's exactly what happened to him. His brain literally went to mush, and he just started mowing people down. Literally. That's literally what happened.
So you think the event actually happened?
What's that? Do I think he mentally snapped? Oh, hell yeah.
No. Do you think it's a legitimate?
Randy, we can't hear you, darling.
You legitimate what? You got cut off in mid-sentence.
It's a legitimate event.
Do I think it's a legitimate event? Well, I can go either way, you know, because the conspiracy side of me wants to believe that it's all orchestrated by the New World Order anyway. But you know, but I mean, is Islam a real legitimate threat? Well, of course it is. So I mean, you know, I think it's kind of both probably, because you know they need a useless idiot to go out there and slaughter thousands of people to take away your guns, take away your rights, take away your freedoms. And so Islam is the perfect patsy for that. And so they're using Islam for that purpose. That's why they're using Islam, is, you know, to get people to give up their rights. You know, I mean, they hate America. America is the last bastion of freedom left, literally. They got Europe. Europe is done. I mean, stick a fork in it. You know, in Sweden, the Muslim rape gangs actually have more rights than the Swedish people do. You don't believe me? Go read their constitution. Their constitution was amended to where that the Muslims have more rights than the Swedish people do. Isn't that scary? That is scary.
All right, I'm going to introduce Mac. Just came in the room. I haven't talked to Mac Thomas in probably a year. How are you, brother?
Doing good, man. I see you still doing still going on that flat Earth, man. So I've been watching some of your videos, trying to catch up.
Yeah, the Earth is flat. We know that. Just else that there's not much else we know. We know Jesus Christ died for our sins. We know the Earth is flat, and we know that we can't trust anybody, you know, is in a place of position and power in this world.
Okay.
I married recently. You got married, Mac?
Yeah.
Congratulations. And you're a flat earther now, right?
Yeah, I'm a flat earther, and when before I even, like, when I was having a relationship with my wife, she told me she was a flat earther, and she said that was like a deal breaker if I didn't believe that it was that the Earth was flat before we got married.
I'm down with that, brother. I'm actually, to this point, Mac, friend. To be my friend now, you got to be a flat earther.
That's a good start.
Time is way too. No, bro, because time is way too short for me to be around people that aren't willing to do the research. And if you do the research, you're going to be a flat earther. So anybody that isn't a flat earther simply has not done the research.
You would think that when the U.S. Navy comes out with a laser test that absolutely proves that the Earth is flat, you would think that would settle it for 99.99% of the people on the planet, right? I mean, it's the U.S. Navy, for God's sake. Okay, I mean, it's the entire U.S. Navy in on the conspiracy. I mean, come on. You know, that should do it for about 99.99% of the people on this planet, I would think. But apparently not. There's still a lot of people out there clinging to that globe, man, just as tight as they can cling. I don't know why.
Mac, what was the one? Can you do me a favor, hon? Mute your mic when you're typing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was muted.
Okay. What's the thing that you got to on the flat Earth that was like the one that went, yeah, it's flat?
The video I saw, it was multiple videos actually, because I started talking to Arcane about it, because I didn't realize that he was flat earth. Somebody else had to tell me, and then I looked at Arcane. You know, he was a pretty cool dude. He was a guy that was very serious, and he didn't seem like that guy that people always portray him as, like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, he was very knowledgeable in a lot of stuff. I mean, he was in the military. You can't be, well, some people can't be stupid in the military, but he didn't strike me as the person who was stupid that came from the military. So, I watched one of his videos where he was challenging people to prove that the Earth was a globe. So I'm thinking, like, somebody's going to prove him wrong, because I got in on the video just to listen in, because instinctively for me, I just knew that I can't give him no information that the Earth is a globe, because when I looked at myself, I was like, well, I don't have any information. All I know is what I was taught in school. So I just kept my mouth shut. I saw all these people coming in there and saying, okay, I got you, Arcane. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. And then they bust out all this information, and he kept shutting it down like it was just, you know, like some heat signature missiles. He just kept shooting them thing down like right on target. And I was like, oh snap, he might be on to something. And then what really got me is when they had when Arcane, it was Pillbox and Johnny KG, KZJ. I don't know where he is, but when they was talking to a G-Man, Beckel, and some other guy about the flat Earth, and you was in there too, Rand, and G-Man was like mocking and scoffing when you guys was going through the scriptures, and y'all pulled out one scripture, which was I believe, because I still remember it kind of. I know it was in Joshua. I think it was Joshua 10, verse 20.
Where he stops the sun and the moon for a day.
Say what?
Sun and the moon.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Joshua 10, 12 through 13. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, Pillbox. I didn't know that was you. When I saw that one in Pillbox, like just going over like the perspective of how, yeah, like it doesn't work any other way. You can't. Okay, so we know that God is not stupid. Clearly, God is not stupid. Clearly, God is not stupid. We all agree to that. He's not stupid. Okay, so why would he answer a request that is clearly illogical when Joshua doesn't know what he's talking about? Why would Joshua say, Lord, stop the moon and stop the sun so we can kill our enemies? Why would he say that? And then God does exactly that and stops it on specific locations if the earth was not the way that it was, if it's not flat, if it's not stationary, if it's not set upon 12 pillars like the Bible says. And it's like at that point I was like, okay, so clearly even the Christians can't go against other Christians pertaining to the Bible, because they're not fully accepting it as their as their full authority, because they're going against the creation that God himself has made and has established. And he said in multiple places upon like in Psalms, in Job, in Joshua, I mean, multiple places he talks about his creation the way that it is. And it's like you can't go against that. You know, that's going against God's word. So that's what really got me.
Yeah, okay, because that got Rev News as well, because that's undeniable. But also, the chapter was, but where God says that the earth, a seal in clay, like when you stamp a seal on a piece of paper, you pour the wax and then you put your ring and stamp it.
Yeah.
It says that's what God says. That's what the earth looks like. But I actually had somebody, Mac, say to me, "Oh yeah, okay, great with all these verses. I want to hear what Jesus has to say about the shape of the earth." And so I really looked, bro. I looked, and I prayed. And the Lord one day had me up reading Sermon on the Mount. He said, "Read the Sermon on the Mount." And when he's talking about oaths, Jesus says this: "Make no oaths on the heavens, for that is God's throne. And make no oaths on earth, for that is God's footstool."
Yeah.
And I went, wow-wee. Wow. He didn't say, don't make oaths on the earth because it's a spinning wet ball rocket. He said, God rests his feet on the earth. Spinning wet ball rocket, that would be the most uncomfortable footstool in the history of footstools.
Didn't you make a comment he'd have some wet sandals, Randy?
He had some wet sandals, but he putting his feet up on a wet ball because it's 71% water. So how often is his feet getting wet?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so. Right?
Not
so,
to mention, I was going to say, not to mention, that would be like a surfboard. You just moving along like,
well, everybody knows.
Right.
Everybody knows what a footstool is, and everybody knows that a footstool is flat. So, I mean, that
is
pretty
Jesus
much.
Stupid?
That or he's got some killer calf muscles.
Really.
You think Jesus is a fool that he don't know what a footstool looks like? And you can be real serious, and you can be real secure in knowing he knows what the earth looks like. And if you think he doesn't know this. Satan brought him to the highest mountain, and he looked to the world. So if you can't see the entire
that right there is a slam dunk. That right there is a slam dunk. How could the devil show Jesus the whole earth from one mountaintop if the earth is shaped like a sphere? He couldn't.
And watch this. If you can't see the whole earth from the moon, how do you account for Jesus seeing it from a mountaintop?
No, exactly.
Now you also know that we've never been to the moon.
folks, that was poetry, folks. That was poetry. It was like a song.
Right? Yeah. It was just, don't take that seriously. It's like Daniel 4:11, which 4:11, if you punch in your phone, is going to come up information. And in 4:11, Daniel, it says that Daniel saw a tree so high it reached the heavens and could be seen from the ends of the earth.
Right.
The ends of the earth. A sphere has no end.
Yeah, show me the ends of a ball.
There is no ends on a ball.
You know, speaking of that, I saw I think it was like a Christian congregation when they was talking about they was challenging, they was on the side that the earth is a ball, but they was talking about that exact chapter when they were saying, you know, that basically when Nebuchadnezzar had this vision, it's exactly that, it's a vision. But the problem with that is that this is what he saw. It's like, how is something like this so accurate to where he said the ends of the earth, and clearly he knows what the ends of the earth are, and he sees a tree that goes above the heaven.
Right. Which I believe is us. He saw this truth.
Right. You
I
might
think
as well
that
even
tweet
say
is
that
us, the
he's
truth.
lying. You might as well even say he was just a drunk guy who didn't have a vision.
What about
or you could say that when God gives
Oh, go ahead, Rand. Go ahead.
or you could say that when God gives visions, he gives confusion, which God is not the God of confusion according to my scripture.
Right.
So why would he give a vision that was kind of like sort of truth, but not really the truth, if he is all truth? He's not going to give a vision that isn't exactly. And if you want to start saying that the visions can't be taken seriously, then you need to throw out the book of Revelation, because that's an entire vision.
Oh, what about the old saying, the four corners of the earth? How can the earth have four corners if it's a sphere?
Amen.
It can't. It can't. It just can't.
Right.
And I'll give you something else. Icarus and Daedalus. What did they wanted to do? They wanted to fly up to the sun, right? They wanted to fly up high and see the sun. How can they do that if the sun is 93 million miles away? They can't. The only way they could have flown to the sun is if the sun is here, say about 3,000 miles away.
For me, whenever I was reading the Bible, like I was already a geocentrist, and I had heard that there were people who said that the Bible said that there was a flat earth. And then my next reading through, like every time that God said the ends of the earth, they like popped off the page. And I mean, I've got a list here. Let me screen share real quick. I got a list here that, you know, the ends of the earth, you know, we've got all of these down here. There's about 20 verses plus that actually have the ends of the earth. Look unto me that ye shall be saved, all the ends of the earth, for I am God and there is none else. You know, like when you're reading and you ask God to reveal truth to you, you know, things like this will just get real bold and pop off the page. But another thing that hit me was that in the Bible, heaven is, well, it's not plural, but heaven above and earth beneath. So there's always God above and we are beneath, below. And that's just all over the place in the Bible. It just sticks out. And then we're always under heaven. You know, that doesn't work on a ball. You know, Australia would be over heaven, you know, like in a sense. So for us to be under at all times, then the Bible is clear about stationary earth. I mean, which shaketh the earth out of her place and the pillars tremble thereof. Like means that the earth isn't supposed to be out of its place. The sun, moon, and stars are definitely what's moving. You cannot read the Bible and tell me that it's the earth moving. The earth is stationary. It's immovable, shall not move. But it always speaks about the sun, moon, and stars going down in their circuits. You know, the sun and the moon stood still in their habitation, which means they don't usually, at the light of thine arrow and went, and at the shining and glittering sphere. The moon is its own light. It's quite clear in the Bible. And then also we have the face of the earth. This was a big one also for me to say, just downright say the Bible is clearly speaking of a round circular disc with, you know, a face to it. A ball, a sphere does not have a face. But the main one, the ends of the earth, is the big one that got me. Whenever I was reading, I was like, okay, so it's just clear. You can't have ends. You can't have bounds. You know, he sets the bounds, and nothing can go through. So for me, it was definitely the Bible. In fact, I actually became a flat earther a little bit about a year before it blew up online. But it's only because the Bible is such a clear and precise, precisely telling us that it's a flat Earth book. And if anybody wants the list of verses that I got a Word document here. Email me at talkingdoctrine@gmail.com, and then I'll just send it back to you with the list. So if anybody wants that.
I have your email. I'll definitely do that because that's good information for sure. Vaughn, did you bring a sandwich for all of us?
No. I got me a Schwann's corn dog if I can get it out of this wrapper here. You know, they say the wrappers are child-proof. Yeah, right. They're adult-proof too. You know, not just child-proof. I got me a Schwann's corn dog, man. These are nice.
Oh, wow.
40 seconds in a nuker. They're done. I like that.
This guy.
Well,
Now,
you're
the problem is that I end up quoting the movie The Matrix, you know, because I know this sucker ain't real, but boy, does it taste good, right?
Well, be very careful because people like to bite from videos and make their own videos.
Yeah,
you chewing on a corn dog might end up in a Chinese corn.
Well, well, now wait a minute. If that happens, then that speaks about their mental faculties, not mine, right?
You know, right?
Yeah, that's because I ain't going to go there. But if they go there, then that's on them, right?
It's like, well, Rand, you just opened up the door for that. I'm like, ain't nobody was going to open up the door.
You might want to take your camera off while you eat that corn dog, Vaughn.
Dude,
That's what I was thinking.
Dude, you have no idea just how you want to talk about evil and perverse. My haters got that in spades, man. Okay, they are the absolute tops of that. Huh?
WikiLeaks page. I seen your WikiLeaks page. I'm pre-warning you.
Mm-hmm.
In the WikiLeaks page on me too.
If they want to make some kind of vile, hateful video, like that would be anything new for them, right?
It's going to end up part of the gay agenda video.
Von Helton,
probably.
Von Helton eating a corn dog.
Well, now think about this, okay?
Good.
Think about this. They want to call me a pedophile and a homosexual, right? The problem is that they're the ones making all the homosexual references. Now, when I was growing up, we were told that the person making references is most likely the one that's doing it, right?
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, you can go check their videos. I mean, homosexual this, pervert that, NAMBLA this. I mean, just on and on and on about all this perverse crap, you know. And it's like,
just do me a favor. Eat the corn dog off camera because I don't.
All right, man. I will eat it up.
I love you. I just don't want. I don't want flat out elected's avatar to end up in a Chinese porn.
I have a real quick question to Pillbox.
You there?
Wait, what's going on, man? What up?
No.
I've got an arcane story about him being a flat earther, but I don't think I've ever heard yours and how you became one.
Well, I was born a flat earther, bro.
Oh.
we're all born flat earthers, bro. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was Rand Campbell and Rose Patton said the two words flat earth to me April 2015. And I knew right away I had a big problem because I knew there was nothing that could say the earth isn't flat. I knew it in the first 30 seconds. And then I spent the next week actually ignoring the subject. And then I eventually looked up some things and then looked up my own photography, which was the real big kicker. Because I've been a photographer my whole life and I've taken many shots from the air. So then when I re-looked at my air photography, I said, that's not what I thought I was doing. I thought I was taking a picture of Kurt. So I specifically remember like the exact details of what was going through my mind and what actually shows in the photos that I took. There was just no going back, man. It was a matter of literally minutes to me. It was just it was before Flat Earth blew up, but for some reason, Rand Campbell and Rose Patton already knew it, and I was new to that. So yeah, April 2000.
And Rand, you was a flat earther. I think you. Because then you must have been a flat earther for a while, and I'm just now finding out. Because I'm
flat earther. I was a flat earther a while back. But 5-6 years ago,
5-6
the Earth was flat, but didn't really pursue it as a topic. I was involved, as you were, in the atheist community, beating up atheists and doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when flat Earth, when I started seeing flat Earth come alive again, I was like, yeah, let me get on board, because it's gonna, have purpose in this family. And so I started talking flat Earth, and that's where Flat Out Elected became.
Oh, okay.
And Rose Patton had another channel called Unlocked Planet. This is back, we were opening up, hoaxes and conspiracies about, all the CIA black ops missions and deep underground military bases and MK Ultra, and we were exposing all that stuff. When we all realized, no, we got to go to Flat Earth, we changed the title of the channel to Flat Out Elected.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that makes sense. I mean, in that MK Ultra, it's like it's very interesting how easy it is to control the mind, of the masses pertaining to that. Because even like Universal Studios, all their movies, what did they push? A big giant globe in front of your face. And it's like that's that's the mind control. It's like you look past that and you realize, oh, they've been doing this for a while. Like they've been conditioning your mindset to just think globe, think globe, think globe. And
all of the women, think of all of the women that have been indoctrinated through their mothers and then even themselves for generations, because they'd walk into the living room and hear as the world turns. That soap opera, As the World Turns, that indoctrinated in a subtle way females in America. I mean, it's crazy, right?
Well, Universal Studios has always used a globe at the beginning of their movies. You have the picture of the globe, and then Universal Studios comes panning around the globe. Universal Studios. They've always used the globe.
Have you seen Joel Osteen's stage?
Yes, he has a metal globe, yes.
He has a great big golden globe on his stage.
Right. Yep. And you can go back into old movies and old TV shows, even black and white movies and black and white TV shows. There'll always be a globe in the background. Why? Because it's conditioning, man. It's conditioning. Brainwashing, if you will. Television shows are called what? Programming.
There's a question, Mac, that I ask people. I ask everybody this: when did you become a globe? Tell me the month, because I can tell you the year I became a flat earther. Can you tell me the year you became a globe earther?
1984, when I was born.
Right. And then I say, okay, now what was the evidence? What was the evidence that made you a globe earther?
School, TV.
And if they say if they say any evidence,
it wasn't evidence. What made me think that? No.
Right. No evidence. You never looked at any evidence.
No, it was the form of programming.
You were made to be a globe earther.
Yes.
So what year did you become a globe earther? And everybody is like, well, I don't know. I guess when I was born or a kid going to school. Okay. So what evidence made you a globe earther? And they don't have any. And I said, well, okay, I'll tell you when I became a flat earther, and I'll give you the evidence that turned me that way. The year that you became a globe earther, or any evidence. Make you question why you believe we're on a spinning web ball rocket, because you never questioned it.
Yeah.
Be a flat earther for one reason. Vaughn is a flat earther for one reason. TD's a flat earther. Everybody on this channel, Pillbox, yourself, Matt, Kendra, we are all flat earthers for one reason. If nobody on this panel researched flat earth, guess what? We'd all be globe earthers.
Yeah.
Everyone. The only reason why we believe in a flat earth is because we questioned the globe model and researched flat earth. Otherwise, flat earth without the research.
What did it for me was when they changed their story. Because I had grown up, you know, studying the stars and the planets in school as a little kid, you know, and I was fascinated by it, man. So I knew a lot about the solar system. I knew a lot about the surrounding planets and galaxies and whatnot. And you know, so I was totally into it. Okay, but in about, what was it, about 2012, 2013, they come out with this idea that the whole solar system is zipping through space at umpteen billion miles an hour. And I'm like, now wait a minute. Okay, I can buy that maybe we're circling the sun. I can buy that maybe we're rotating on our axis. I can buy that maybe, you know, the moon is rotating around the earth. I cannot buy that the whole solar system is streaking through the universe at umpteen billion miles an hour. No, that's too much for me. Okay. And you know, that cinched it for me. That wasn't what got me started, but that's what cinched it for me. I'm like, no, this can't be right. No
You
way.
know what?
You know?
Here's an answer. You know, when people say to you, yeah, well, what about all the other planets? The sun and the moon are round.
Well,
scientists believe
they're lights.
Almost
They're
done,
lights.
Almost done, but watch this. The same scientists that have you believing you're on a spinning web ball rocket, if you're going to use the ceiling as your reason for believing that the ceiling describes the floor, then know that scientists say that the entire universe
and
they say the universe is flat.
Right.
So if you're going to use the ceiling to describe the floor, flat earth.
An infinite flat plane. I mean, we use terms like plane of oblivion. We use terms like Summerfields, which is essentially a plane. You know, we use these terms, and you know, you would think one would click. You know, it's like, well, now wait a minute. If heaven is a plane, and hell is a plane, and outer darkness is a plane, why wouldn't the earth be a plane? As above, so below. I mean, it makes sense, right? You know, but we've used these terms before, you know, plane of oblivion especially. Cast into outer darkness, the Bible says. Cast into outer darkness. Well, what is outer darkness? Outer darkness is an infinite flat plane of nothingness. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so if casting into outer darkness is an infinite flat plane, and heaven is an infinite flat plane, and hell is an infinite flat plane, why would the earth not be an infinite flat plane? It just makes sense. It just makes sense, man. Totally.
Yeah, it was very interesting when my wife like when my wife gave me like a PDF of all her beliefs, and she said, you know, we got things to talk about. And this is before we got married, and she was like, I'm a flat earther. If you don't believe, I can't marry you. I was like, okay, I'm one too. So it's a good thing I do believe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
it.
that's you know, everybody has their line in the sand, you know.
I know.
And that was hers apparently. So.
It was weird when she told me that because I never met you other than you ran in Arcane and Pillbox and I think Johnny. I never met like another flat earther or someone that was like adamant that I would actually meet in my life.
Right.
And it was like, and even with that, she was more vocal about it than I was when it came to that understanding, because she was like, hey, the earth is flat, man. I'm not playing with that. This is God's word. This is God's planet. I ain't playing with that. I ain't getting struck down. Nope. And I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, hey, I can't go against that either, you know. And I didn't believe you guys. I didn't believe you, Ran. I didn't believe Arcane. I didn't believe Pillbox. And you know, it wasn't that you guys weren't. It's not like you guys weren't smart. You weren't intelligent in your own right. It's not like you haven't gone through stuff. It's not like you didn't understand the Bible. It's just that for me, it's like you have to accept the authority of God. In spite of the ridicule that you're going to face, just because people think you're stupid and you don't trust in so-called quote-unquote science, you know, does that mean reject the Bible because it doesn't comport with what you've already been indoctrinated with? So, I mean, it was already bad enough, you know, that like James said, why wouldn't you question what you have been taught? Why would you not? Especially when the government changes a lot of things in the world. You know, I was into the conspiracies and stuff and Illuminati and things of that nature. And it's like, okay, you're all into this, but you don't think that they will lie about the earth?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because that's exactly how I bumped into flat earth. Is that I kind of got drafted, basically, is what happened. I don't know how familiar you are with the Mandela effect. Are you familiar with it at all?
I'm familiar that they like torture you. They mess with your mind in a lot of ways, but not like too deep.
We just had a whole discussion on the Mandela effect maybe 30 minutes ago.
Right. And I missed it, of course. It figures I would miss it. But no, man.
Vaughn.
Yes.
You're gonna miss the Mandela effect.
What?
Because we're not going to discuss it. You're going to miss that discussion again because we're not discussing it again. But
I have to set this up.
Became a flat earther.
I have to set this up. He's not going to know what in the world I'm talking about if I don't set it up this way. Okay?
He's not going to anyways, but go ahead.
but no, and I'm being straight up. I know this is going to sound really, really far out there, but just bear with me, okay? I've always been a conspiracy theorist and researcher. I've always been a truth seeker from, you know, even in my teens, I was always looking for the truth in one way or another. And I do graphics work. I do graphics work for computers and videos and still pictures, etc. And so I'm on my computer, and I got all my monitors around me and stuff, and I'm researching my graphics work. And it got late that night, so I saved my work, and I had everything all set, and I didn't bother changing anything. I just went on ahead, shut everything down, and went to bed. Got up the next morning. Now, I don't even remember when it was this happened. It's been a while now, but I don't remember. I think it was like it might have actually been 2012 or 2013. I don't know, but so maybe we really did get destroyed. But anyway, that's another topic I'll get to in a minute. But what happened was, I got up. My bed's right here, so I got up, got back on the computer, going to finish up my graphics work, and I log into my YouTube, right? And you know how YouTube's got all these videos on the right-hand side, right? Well, instead of all these videos on the right-hand side being about graphics and computer gaming mods and stuff such as that, it was all about flat Earth. I'm like, say what? It was all about flat Earth and this new thing called the Mandela effect, you know. And I'm like, what in the world is all this, you know? And so I got drafted. I got drug here from the Irma Sagittarius. So nice to meet you. But so I'm stuck here, and then the other me is probably pulling his hair out because in my reality there is no flat Earth, there is no Mandela effect, there is no nothing. It's boring as all get out, really, to be honest. And so he's probably pulling his hair out, and you're stuck with me, which that's probably a good thing. But anyway, but it was really interesting because I had all this stuff about Mandela effect and flat Earth in the sidebar, and so I started researching it, and it's like, okay, you know. So basically, where I'm at right now is that CERN has somehow done something that has caused me and my alternate self to swap places. It's kind of like that one of that movie back from Walt Disney years ago, Parent Trap or something, I think it was called, where they switch bodies. But anyway, and so, you know, CERN is out there messing with stuff, and it's causing rips, literal rips in the fabric of time and space. NASA did a big article about this humongous rip in space, a literal rip in space, and it coincides and dovetails quite nicely with what CERN was doing at the time. And it's like, you know, but you know, so we got that going on, and then we got the flat Earth thing going on, which is, you know, like I said, you know, they had all these videos on the site about flat Earth, and you got to understand, from where I come from in the Arm of Sagittarius, there is no flat Earth, no, nothing, not a zip. And so it was all something new to me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll check it out because I want to know the truth, right? And you know, I bumped into that Navy experiment with the lasers, and it's like, you know, that pretty much did it for me. You know, because every time the Navy shot a laser out, it hit the target every single time. Every single time. That solved it for me. That was enough for me to believe right there. But apparently there's other people that keep holding on to their globe. But, you know, and then, of course, I bumped into more information after that as well. But so I kind of got drafted in, but here I am. So deal with me as best you know how.
Let me ask you guys this. Is the fact that people are turning from the globe to the flat Earth belief itself not evidence that there is a problem with the globe? Because the truth is that we're flat earthers because the globe never proved itself.
Right. Well, it's like I said in my video, Rand. Okay, if the moon is here, okay, on the other side of the Earth, how is it that I can go out my front porch, look up at the sky, and still see the thing? Okay, that's not possible, man. It's not supposed to be possible on a sphere. Okay, but I can go out my front door right now, look up at the sky, and boop, there it is. You know, it should be on the far side of the Earth during the day. You know, it's on the far side of the Earth during the day, and then at night it's on our side, right? You know, well, I can still see it during the day just fine.
That's the point, is that we've been seeing a lot of that lately where the sun's out, but so is the moon at the same time.
Exactly.
Impossible on a spinning wet ball rocket.
Yeah, there's no way.
How am I seeing the moon 3 in the afternoon with the sun, and Australia is supposed to have a high moon on their side of the spinning wet ball rocket?
Well,
see the moon, because if you go and look at the stats, they're seeing the moon as well. How that's not even possible on a ball.
Well, that Australia and South America is a very good point, particularly Argentina, because in Argentina is at the very tip of South Africa or South America, right? Okay, Argentina is at the very, very southern end of the supposed sphere. All right. Well, now according to the model, their own model, the moon isn't actually side by side with our equator. It's actually kind of angled upwards, north kind of like. All right, so what I'm confused is how is Argentina able to see the moon at all, ever? Because Argentina is tucked way up underneath the bottom of the Earth, and the moon is kind of up here ways above the equator. Even at night, Argentina should not see the moon at all, but yet I can get on the internet, talk to somebody in Argentina. Yeah, man, I see the moon. There it is. You know, but according to the sphere model, it's totally impossible. It should not be able to see it at all. but yet they do.
See, speaking of that, you know, even if it was possible for them to see a moon, it's like no matter where you go in the United States, whether it be United States, Russia, China, Japan, you know, these people should be able at least be able to see a different angle of the moon, yet they only see the same thing, the same spot, the same face every single time.
Right.
I thought that was weird when I would see some of these when I would see like all of these like 4-hour flat earth documentaries and stuff like that. And even though they would show the same thing, they would like bring up different points, and it would still just it would just be like one of those, yeah, this makes sense, because no matter the data, it's like all this data is just proving that you can't go back to a globe Earth even if you wanted to. You're just seeing this stuff to where people are showing you, no matter what you're looking at, no matter the evidence that's being brought to you, it doesn't prove that you're on a globe.
Yeah.
The evidence for flat Earth is overwhelming. There is no question about it. It's overwhelming. You got this humongous bridge in China that is literally miles long, and you can stand at one end of this Chinese bridge. I can stand at the other end of the Chinese bridge. I can whip out my real long telescope, and I guarantee you, I'll be able to see you just fine. There is no curve.
How about the Mississippi River? How about the Mississippi River? It defies, because at some point, such a long river, I forget what the accurate miles are on it, but it's very, very long. It's certainly 8 inches squared per inch mile. It certainly defies the curve. So at some points, the Mississippi River would be a waterfalls, and at other points, it would have to be flowing uphill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? How do people not look at these? And the Nile River as well, is a very long river. But let's look out at the horizon of an ocean, because I'm here in the Caribbean. So when I'm here in the Dominican, I look out over the Atlantic Ocean, the horizon. If I swim out to the horizon, should I not be swimming out to a waterfalls?
Yes.
Right? How is that water? I could swim.
It was too much of a dead pause.
Forever to that horizon in the hopes of finding a waterfalls, and it will be an endless flat swim. It's impossible. But here's what really gets me, Mac. When you take a look at the spinning wet ball rocket from, you know, this international stupidity station that they claim is, you know, some great big thing happening. You know, when you look at the very bottom of the so-called spinning wet ball rocket, water on the bottom of the ball. If they zoomed all the way in on that, would we not be able to see an upside down fishing boat,
right,
down cruise ship, or an upside down cargo ship?
Mm-hmm.
They would have to. Now, maybe to them they don't feel upside down, but we should still see them as being upside down. Our vision, our perspective would be that when we zoom in on the bottom of the ball on the water, we're going to literally see upside down cruise ships. Wants to end flat Earth, just do that. Show us that. That'd be good enough. With a whole group of people on a cruise ship, I'll volunteer to go on a cruise ship for this event, and I'll have a flag saying the Earth is round. I was wrong.
It won't happen. It'll never happen. We got NASA themselves. We got NASA themselves on video just now admitting that they're just now creating a ship that will be able to pass through the so-called Van Allen belts. Okay.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Now wait a minute. Wasn't we supposedly passing through the Van Allen belts back in the 60s?
Yeah, wouldn't they have to have gone through that to get to the moon?
Well, that's the point, you know. They're just now saying that we have the technology to get us through the Van Allen belts. Well, what happened in the 60s? Did them men all die of radiation poison?
Right.
They would have turned into a pile of goo, man. So
like,
what's up with that, right?
It's like, can we get to the moon? Yes, we can. We have the technology.
We have the erector set.
We have. I just can't do it, Captain. I
Well,
don't have the power.
When they put that rover out there, a picture of the rover, I laughed. I literally cracked up, and everybody's looking at me like, "What is Vaughn? Vaughn has lost it, man. He's been smoking peyote or something. He's lost his mind." I said, "Now wait a minute. Think about it. Look at this. I'm old enough to remember what an erector set is, and I'm telling you, you look at that rover, and you could easily see they put that sucker together with an erector set. I'll bet you $5 that they put that with an erector because it looks just like it. It looks just like it." And I went to the Smithsonian. I put my hands right on the moon lander, and I can tell you, man, that's aluminum foil. It is. It might be spray painted gold, but it's aluminum foil. It's thin as tissue paper, and that thing ain't nothing but a tubular frame. I wouldn't trust that thing. I wouldn't trust that thing in a sprint race, let alone taking it to the moon. No way, man. No way.
So Randy has the best line for that. Well, who took the picture? They didn't have selfie sticks back then. Who took the picture?
Exactly. Who did take that picture? That's right.
But here's another one. How they get the moon and back on one tank of gas?
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. You know, because
I can barely get across the city on a tank of gas.
Well, it's because you've been driving uphill. No, I'm joking.
Well, see, that's a very good point, Rand. You know, I know you're trying to be comical, but that's actually a very good point, Rand. Because where did they get the fuel to do the return trip? You know, I mean, nobody really talks about it.
Huh? Look at, and here's another one. You know those in-flight gas planes that load up planes that are flying, and then the plane will connect to the other plane with a gas hose?
Yeah, the refueler ones. Yeah, refuelers. Yep.
Yeah, how are they doing that on a flat Earth if the plane has to keep nosediving to compensate the curve? How are they doing the refuels?
Well, that's something else too. I am a big fan of the World War I fighter pilots, and you know, I've read their testimonies and their documentaries and what have you over and over and over again. And none of these famous aces ever said anything about having to constantly nose down their plane to keep it level. No one, not one of them. Not Eddie Rickenbacker, not Manfred von Richthofen, not Werner Voss, none of what was I can't think of his name. Anyway, but none of the famous aces of World War I, when you read their stories and stuff, they never ever mention having to constantly nose the plane down to keep it level. Never. They never mention that. It's never brought up ever. And you know, when you're flying that little old World War I biplane or triplane, you have to constantly adjust, you know, because you're constantly having to fly that thing. Ain't no autopilot on that sucker. Okay, you got to manhandle that thing. And there's no comment anywhere about them having to constantly nose their plane down to keep it level. Never. It's just not there. Now, there was one comment where the Fokker triplane had enormous lift because it had 3 wings instead of 2. But that's a different can of worms. That's not, you know, where you're constantly having to adjust. But I've never read it in any of the great aces of World War I, any of their documentaries ever. It's just not there.
Hey, my wife had wanted to ask this question, and she wanted to know, why do Christians have a hard time believing this, considering that it takes care of a lot of things that sadly a lot of Christians still argue against atheists and, you know, other you know, people of different faiths every day. Like, you know, why we, when it comes to like evolution, flat Earth kills everything. When it comes to the universe and, you know, the things that said in the Bible, flat Earth.
The reason why I think that Christians are afraid to come to flat Earth is because they think they're not going to be taken seriously. And they haven't wrapped their heads around the fact that it's not about being taken seriously. It's about being taken truthfully.
Exactly.
And right? And so when Christians realize that Satan is the great deceiver and he is the God of this world, Paul said Satan's the God of this world. Jesus didn't deny that he had the kingdom. So we know that he has dominion over the world, and we know that Satan has indoctrinated humanity through deceptions by using all of these idol worshipers and all of these sellouts at every level that has a platform to deceive and condition humanity. When Christians realize the Bible is 100% correct, and then they go into the flat earth scriptures with an honest and open heart, they're going to come to know that, hold on a second, we're on a flat earth. But they don't want to do that because in their indoctrination, they believe it's very unchristian. I have Christians that say to me, you know what, Rand, you're 100% right. I know the earth is flat, but I'm just not the one to talk about it. I'm just gonna preach the gospel. And I'm like, yeah, well, I understand that, but let me ask you this. They say, well, it's not a salvation issue. Flat earth isn't a salvation issue. I said, well, of course it's a salvation issue, not for you because you're saved. But isn't that a little bit arrogant of you to suggest that it's not a salvation issue for you, but yet people that still believe in Star Trek, Star Wars, the spinning wet ball rocket, Big Bang Theory, evolution, no reason for an intellectual designer. What if they're believing all of that, no God business, for the sake of being indoctrinated by the spinning wet ball rocket? What if you take the spinning wet ball rocket out of their hands and they go, wait a second, we're on a flat earth. Oh, now all of a sudden there's a great designer. Okay. Now let me look at scripture and see what the Bible has to say about it. Before you know it, you've got all kinds of people coming to know the Lord and believe in the gospel because you took the one thing out of their hands that has blinded them.
The very reason that they fight against flat earth is because flat earth demands a creator. That's the whole point. It demands a creator. You know, what do they always say about the solar system and the earth and all that? Oh, it spins all by itself. Don't need no God. You know, it's all self rotating and all that good garbage. You know, so once you destroy the sphere model, the heliocentric model, then the only thing they have left is a flat plane, an infinite flat plane designed by a deity. That's all they got left. Because the self-replicating, self-attenuating thing, but it isn't going to work anyway. All right, because it would have petered out many millions of years ago anyway. It would have stopped rotating. All right, it's not a perpetual machine. All right, that we have yet to come up with a perpetual machine, and the solar system isn't a perpetual machine either. And so why does it keep spinning? I'll tell you why. Because there's a God. God's in my purview because I'm a pagan, but you know that the flat Earth model forces you to admit that there is a deity out there that loves you and cares about you, and that's what they hate. They hate the fact that there is a God out there that loves them and cares about them.
No, but he's asking, the question was, why do Christians have a hard time? These are people that believe in God, believe in Jesus Christ, but when you present them with flat earth, they can't grasp it. He's not talking about atheists. He's talking about Christians, Vaughn.
Well, I would just wrap that up to brainwashing. You know, I mean,
well, it's brainwashing, yes, but it's more than just that. Don't forget, Christians get a lot of attack and a lot of insult and mockery. People can only take so much. You know, Jesus Christ took the greatest, insult than any other person in the history of the world. So it comes to how much can you take? And a lot of Christians they don't want to become flat earthers because they've been indoctrinated to believe it's crazy, number one. And number two, they can't handle any more insult or mocking than they already get when they preach the gospel. In a sense, they're just protecting themselves from getting deep onto the battlefield. Guys like us, Mac, we grew up on a battlefield, bro. Most of these Christians, they didn't grow up on a battlefield. These are people that grew up. These are people that grew up in little families with perfect little churches and perfect little homes, and right. And so you give them this. You say, okay, here's a sword. I need you to take it out to the battlefield. And they pick up the sword and it says the earth is flat. They drop the sword and go, no. Give me no. That's too big a sword for me. Give me that little butter knife over there that says evolution. I'll take the evolution.
In other words, they're one of these people where you shove them in a locker, they actually like it and they want to stay there, right?
Well, they're just flat Earth is a big sword to carry out onto the battlefield.
Yes, it is. I got the hard knocks to prove it.
These guys want to take butter knives to the battlefield. They've been doing, fighting evolution now for 5, 6, 7 years. I've been in the great debate community since almost the beginning, and they've been talking. Evolution has been the number one topic for 6, 7 years now. They're still talking it, and it's the butter knife of arguments. Flat Earth is the sword. It is literally the biggest weapon you're going to take out onto the battlefield right now outside of the gospel and Jesus Christ. And the sword of flat Earth is too big. Most people can't carry it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love flat Earth.
I don't know. I mean, you don't. I mean, if they tend to lean towards atheism, all you got to do is show them the Navy tests, where they tested the lasers. I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, it was easy.
But you don't even have to do that, Vaughn. Vaughn, you are a smart dude, bro. All I got to do is tell him this. Let's go stand outside. All right. Now I want you to just feel the curve, feel the spin. You don't feel it? Why? Because we're too big and it's moving too fast. Okay, so let me explain something to you about the Native Indians, because you'll like this, Vaughn. You've got native blood. This will make sense to you. Indians used to put their ear to the ground,
right,
so that they could hear the horses coming from miles away. They could hear it.
That's right.
Movement on the earth creates a vibration that if you listen, you can hear it.
That's correct.
So if the earth is spinning, rotating, rocketing, and revolving,
we should
be motions. You should be able to put if you can't feel it standing up in your Nikes and you don't want to get barefoot on the front lawn, that's fine. Put your ear to the ground.
And listen.
Be in a moment of silence, and you should be able to hear the earth rumbling beneath your ear. A kid, and I'm sure you did this as well. I can remember putting our ears to the train tracks. Ear on the train track to hear the train coming. If you stayed there long enough, you would hear the vibration of the train miles down the track, miles. And you could hear it slightly in your ear. And the longer you stayed there, you could hear it getting closer and closer and closer. And then you would stand up and step back, and sure enough, within a few minutes, that train would be zipping by you. We have something God gave us. It's called observation, and it's called our senses. This is what happened. Somewhere in humanity, some generation decided that God's senses that he gave us were not good enough. How to handle them, they weren't working, they were out of whack, so we gave our common sense to scientists, teachers, educators, government, authorities, celebrities. They now own our common sense. They think for us. That's why celebrities get up there and tell us who to vote for, and tell us what we should be doing, and tell us about global warming and vaccines and all of these lies, GMOs, because they now own our common sense.
Until they break their program.
Your common sense back.
You know what?
Your common sense back.
Until they break their programming like Kanye West did. Can't remember when Kanye West broke his programming there for a minute, and they rushed him to the hospital. They rushed him to the hospital.
But that's the point. That's the point, is that when you stop and go, okay, Father, I need my common senses. I trust that you made perfect common sense for me. And so you start to rely on your own common sense and your own observations. And then you ask yourself one very, very simple question. Felt like we were spinning. Is there any documentation in the history of the world where anybody ever documented that they felt the actual spin of the earth, the rotation, the wobbling, or the rocketing through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour? Has anybody ever documented feeling that? There's no. Ask yourself this very simple question. In a curve. And the answer is going to be no. Then you ask yourself this question. Does water bend? Have I ever seen a swimming pool where the water was bent? Or a lake? A puddle on the side of the road? My bathtub, my kitchen sink, my glass of water? Or does water always find its level? Say this. Okay, so the earth is apparently 71% water. So if the earth is 71% water and water doesn't bend, a ball. It's not like the earth is 98% land and 2% water. Then you might be able to go, all right, I can see it. But no. God is very smart. The earth is 71% water. Water doesn't bend.
Well, that's another good point, Randy. Remember that thing you showed me with all the the measurements of this, how fast the Earth's going, the axis, everything is 666.
Exactly. It's wobbling at 66.6, rotating around the Earth at 66.6 thousand miles an hour. And it's rocketing through space apparently at 666,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, isn't that a coincidence that it just happens to be 600? Say, yeah, I read that one too, and it's like, yeah, get out of here.
Right.
Really...
But have you seen the document about where they were building an airplane? NASA was building a linear jet. Document in the summary in chapter or verse 16 of the summary, it says that the plane was designed to fly on a motionless flat Earth.
Yeah.
On their own documents. I have the document. But I mean, when you come down to just being real with yourself, which is, look, do you believe that Satan deceived the world? They go, yeah. I go, to what degree do you think he would have deceived it? And they go, oh, he really deceived it. I go, do you think the shape of the earth might be something he'd want to deceive us with?
Mm-hmm.
Any purpose in him deceiving us about the shape of the earth? And think about that for a second. What could he benefit if he could change the shape of the earth? Do you think he could bring in Big Bang with a spinning wet ball rocket? Because apparently people believe Big Bang because of spinning wet ball rocket. If they believe we are on a flat earth, I can guarantee you, people that believe Big Bang would be like, yeah, no, that's not happening. You're not going to get, this out of that. And then what about a global flood? Can you really imagine the entire earth, a global flood, a ball? Try to imagine it in your head, a ball where the water rises up above the mountains. So literally now it is a ball of water and there's a little tiny upside down wooden boat floating on this ball water filled with animals. Really? You can imagine that? Or does it make more sense on a flat earth that it was flooded up to the ice walls and Noah's Ark was floating on a flat water plane? That makes a lot more sense to me. And then you hit them with this one. Then you tell them, all right, look it, enough of the nonsense. If you're not going to wake up, come over here. Then you just slap them in the head and you tell them, you feel better? I don't want to have to smack you again. I want you to explain to me how it is possible that no matter how high you are, the horizon always ends up at eye level. I want you to take a basketball and put it on the floor in front of you so that you're way taller than the basketball and look at the horizon on the basketball. Raise the basketball up to your eyesight and you will notice that it changed. The higher up you go on a ball, the further down the horizon goes. Why is it that no matter how high you are in this, the horizon is always at eye level? Always, from a plane, a tall building, your porch, standing on a beach, laying on a beach, 6'4", 3'2". It doesn't matter. It always ends up at eye level.
Eyes of blue. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna crash. Kids got to get up and catch the bus in the morning. So
Yeah, but Vaughn, we were just going to bring up the Mandela effect.
I already brought up the Mandela effect. I already brought it up and moved on. I gotta go, man. I gotta get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go. Everybody,
What are you
have a
doing
good
up
one.
at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Get the kids ready, man. I got 3 kids. Remember, I don't have just 1 kid. I got 3 kids.
I got to tell you something. I recently got involved here at a 17-room compound here in the Dominican,
right?
With every single thing necessary. I'm expecting to see you down here. I think we're going to do a flat Earth fundraiser here in a year, and we're going to do, or not a fundraiser, an event like a flat Earth meetup here in a year. And over the year, we're going to start doing some fundraising. It might need some financial help to get here. So come up with some good fundraiser ideas, and the whole Christian, and you'll be the only non-Christian, but by then you'll be a Christian. Or when you get here, I'm beating you up. So
I don't think you're going to get me back quite that easily, Rand. Sorry.
Last part, if you're not a Christian, I'll just beat you up.
Probably would.
That'll motivate you.
But no, seriously.
But yeah, so
well, now see, there's a slight problem. My exposure of this fool in Las Vegas and is the fact that his girlfriend was a Muslim and nobody wanted that to get out. Now I've lost my VidMe channel. So, you know, I'm kind of in a sticky wicket.
We'll talk. Like I said, we're going to start doing some fundraisers to get people over to this up in the Dominican. And also, G Consciousness is going to be a flat earther by then. So I'm pretty excited about that. AJ Conscious, Rand's pretty excited. You're going to be a flat earther for next year's meetup. I expect a lot of people are going to want to be flat earthers just to come to the Dominican.
That's right.
Well, no, I'll tell you, that would be a pretty compelling argument. You know, get me to the Dominican where it's nice and pretty. Now that the hurricanes is all gone, you know, hopefully
That's where Jesus wants you to go.
Maybe there ain't another. I just hope ain't another one coming. We had a high pressure system out over here.
I have a feeling if there's another hurricane heading this way, it's going to be called Hurricane Von Elton.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna let no spinning spigot of water run me off, man. Oh no. I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna have a good time, man. I will move heaven and earth to keep that that little spigot of water away from me. I don't need that around me, man. If I get it down there, I'm going to be down there to relax, have fun, and chill out for a while. I deserve it, man. After all the crap I've been through for the past, I don't know, 35 years or however long I've been doing this now, I deserve a break, man. I deserve a break. So,
well, I'm on board, and I love you, brother.
I need the break, man. So, but now there's a high pressure system. There's a high pressure system in the Atlantic. Hopefully, that will not turn into another tornado or a hurricane. Hopefully, it will not.
Yeah, it's called Hurricane Kendra.
Hey.
All right, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good day.
God bless you, brother. You stay well, man.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, what's up?
So, yeah, we're going to put together, because I'm here in the Dominican. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I was talking about it a little bit in the chat earlier.
Yeah, I live in the Dominican now, Mac.
You want to give me a ticket to come down there?
Well, what we're going to do, I'm involved with a beautiful retreat with swimming pools, restaurants, spa, racquetball, golf, 17 rooms. It housed about 30 people. Very nice. And I'm setting up booking. So I think next year, Kendra and I are going to try to set up a great big flat earth retreat here. It'll house about 30 people. And so I would prefer them to be, Christians, obviously. But we're going to do fundraising between now and the event to try to get as much money pulled together for people that might need help. So we can try to get everybody as down here that we can, right?
Right.
Cool.
That'd be cool. Do like a few flat Earth videos out there and stuff.
Yeah, we'll take a catamaran out onto the Atlantic, and we'll have a camera set up on the beach to see how far we can. We're going to send like 30 flat earthers out into the ocean and see if we can get flat earthers to go over the curve. We're all going to have flat Earth banners, so the catamaran will have a flat Earth banner, and see if we can make it disappear behind the curve, and then take a P900 camera and bring it back into focus.
You should also
and I'm also here. Huh?
I say y'all should also play laser tag.
We can do that. Yes, laser tag on the beach because the beach is very long.
We're sending you up to the mountains.
I'm in the mountains. Yes, I'm in the mountains here. I'm right by. I look out my window and I'm right under Mount Elizabeth here in Puerto Plata. And so we're going to go up into the mountains and do some things up there. They actually have, what do you call it? Those elevator rides up on top of the mountain they use for ski resorts. They have them taking you up to the top of the mountain, so we're going to go do that.
Oh, so
we'll
like
do
a
all
ski
kinds
lift.
of flat Earth stuff. Like a ski lift, yeah. We'll do all kinds of flat Earth stuff here.
What time are you planning on doing next year?
February. I'm thinking maybe October, November. What do you think, Kendra?
Well, it's not. It's going to be more expensive to fly in November, December, and January. That's the most expensive times to fly. So you want to get everybody out before or after that?
It'd be in the summer even. Who cares, right?
Well, summer's the cheapest of the off season, but it's still hot for us, right? But you know what I mean.
So, yeah, but it's still nice. Like July.
Oh, I've gone in the summer.
It's cheap. It's
yeah,
cheap,
I've gone in the summer. It's just as good.
and it's real hot here.
Yeah. July is a really good time to fly out.
So maybe July of 2018.
Yeah.
That would be really fun. How long is it?
Yeah, it's about a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for about 10 days.
Well, yeah, we're definitely
And like I said, we'll set up the package so there's food and beverages, and I'm right next door to a golf course here. I talked to the golf guys. We can put that in the package. There's a woman's spa. There's deep body massage here, racquetball, swimming pools. And yeah, just for 10 days, flat Earth meetup in the Dominican. It'll be huge.
Yeah, I might even fly Jado. She's a chef. She does big catering and stuff. So,
right? We'll make it a big event. It'll be a huge event.
We'll broadcast it all over the internet.
And we'll have flat Earth speakers. Like we'll set up a stage here on the resort for people that want to come up and present. How they came to flat Earth and their what flat Earth has done in their lives and their testimony about Christ.
It sounds like an AA meeting.
Right? Yeah, my name is Kendra and I'm a flat earther.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra. Let's hear your war story. But no, we could have like sermons. We could do some nice sermons. Have a nice worship group. I can have a worship band come in, and it could be really, really nice, man. It'll be done very Christian time. It'll be very loving, and everybody gets to kind of meet up in a beautiful place.
It's sure not going to be boring. I'm going to be there. How could it be boring?
Right? Well, it's not going to be boring if you're there.
Of course not.
Yeah, I can't wait for G Conscious to come as a flat earther.
He's excited. Look.
Yeah. Oh, he's excited. He's going to get real excited when he comes here and goes, all right, I'm a flat earther. I was all the time. I was playing the devil's advocate.
We're going to get him a t-shirt. We'll let him give the first speech.
See, I'm hoping. Real quick question. I had to go as well because me and my wife were both curious if you guys if you guys do it upon during in July because my wife is with child, so
okay.
I'm trying to figure like I'm trying to figure out what's the age to where you can even go on a plane.
Yeah, any age. You can take a baby. I got a baby here right now. My friend from Canada is here with a baby. And her son is like 2 years old. Bring a baby, I think, almost any age. And there's accommodations here for babies as well, cribs and all kinds of stuff. So,
ooh,
would be well taken care of here and well loved.
All right.
One thing about Dominicans love babies more than food. And they love, and don't get me wrong, they love food.
Well, just let me know. Just let me know when, and also if you need my address, Rand, to send the tickets down. Just hit me up when you can.
Yeah. Give me your address.
Okay.
Make sure you do that for sure.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're gonna work all this out, brother.
Yeah.
You're gonna be down here. Lord's hands, man. God is very good.
Yes. Hey, I'm gonna send you. I'll send you my email, and I'll still. Well, what am I talking about? I'll definitely keep watching your videos, man. Just keep me posted.
Yeah, man. I got a few more videos coming up. G-Con and I did a beautiful discussion on how they're hiding demons behind these aliens, because aliens are actual demons. And so I'm just producing a video of his and my conversation, but I want to make sure that it's done really, really well. So I've been working on that video. It's coming out, I think, probably next week. But yeah, I'm just going to continue doing videos, brother. You know me. I love the Lord. I'm also on board a little bit with your Jewish thing. Right? Like I am. I've been studying. And let's just say that I think there is some truth. I don't think it's as. I think it's corrupted in some ways, no differently than everything can be corrupted or twisted.
Yeah.
But I don't think that you're 100% wrong. I would just advise you and your wife to just know that it's all about the Lord.
Right.
As long as we all do that, we're gonna be cool, bro. You know what I mean? It's all about the Lord, man.
Yep. No qualms with that, man.
Huh?
No, I have no issues with that. That's definitely the forefront.
Amen, brother. Keep it on the Lord. And we're going to meet at the feet of the Father, and we're going to be very surprised at who's going to be there. It's going to be very shocking. You're going to get a tap on your shoulder and look around and be like, no way, you made it?
No way.
Really? I know I'm going to be shocked, but happily shocked, believe me.
Yeah, keep repping the truth, man. God bless y'all. See you, Pillbox. Thank you, Rand, for inviting me in.
Hey, man, I love you, brother. I always have. You've always been one of my favorite YouTubers, bro.
You're hurting me.
God bless you and your.
I know, I'm
God bless
hanging
you and your family. God bless you and your family, and tell your wife I am very, very happy that she has some rules for marriage, and flat Earth is a good rule.
Yeah, I'll let her know. All right, see you.
God bless you, brother. I'll see you in July, man.
You there, Randy?
Yeah, but I see the chat room is still on fire.
Oh, yeah.
What you got going on in the chat room, Rand? Why don't you put it up for us?
Here, sure, Pillbox. Oh, you can't see it, right?
There's all kinds of stuff.
No, I can't do that type of multitasking here. I'm in a thunderstorm and I can't do everything. Come on.
A thunderstorm.
I mean, there's a hurricane everywhere these days. Have you not noticed?
Yeah, weather conditions are definitely interesting, aren't they?
Between that and shootings. There's been in Toronto, just downtown by me. There's been like 6 last week.
There you go.
Yeah, actually, Ken. Let me see if it's too
got
fine a
G-
print though. Let's see.
We got G Conscious in the house. He came by to get some flat Earth knowledge.
He's excited for the retreat.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. What do you think, Pillbox?
You know when he'll discover it, when he's on the plane and he realizes it isn't lowering or getting higher as he's flying. He'll be like, you know what, guys? I had an epiphany on the way over. Glad I made it.
Rand was pretty smart making me fly to the DR.
Yeah.
It all made sense when we got up about 40,000 feet and I realized the horizon is still at eye level.
Yeah. And the stewardess was still able to bring me my food.
Yeah, there's no curve, and the stewardess didn't have to roll the cart uphill because the pilot was trying to adjust to the curve.
Well, all I could say is I could wish that for him, bro, because I just feel so sorry for these people that just can't actually see anything. They can't use their eyes. They can't admit what they experience. So it's just a sad deal for them. I mean, this isn't for everybody. So I don't expect G-Con to become a flat earther after he spent so much time hating on people. You know, these people already have too much pride in the first place. That's how they got themselves into this mess. So all that pride usually just keeps these people planted in their stupidity, and they're stuck owning the most worthless possession in history. So it's just, you know, you can't change people's minds.
It's also conditional training. When you passed your science test and got an A, you know what I mean? You felt good about it.
Oh, yeah, when you ran that gold star home to Mom, and she stuck it on the fridge and gave you an extra piece of chicken at the dinner table? Come on, man. Come on, man.
And they put the little monkey sticker on your shirt. They put a monkey sticker on your shirt. Say, what a good monkey you are. And okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Charles Darwin.
Right?
Ay.
What's going on here, Kendra? Where's your boyfriend, Bill? Did he leave?
Nah, he got upset because I was ignoring him, so he sent me flowers until I acknowledged. He knows. He feels the love.
You're training him.
Yeah, conditional training. He better show up at this flat earth retreat with a big flat earth diamond for me.
Yeah, really, eh?
Speaking of diamonds, here's Diamond right here. Come on, Diamond. You can hear her meowing. I said Diamond. She thought I was calling her. Poor cat.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how many people are watching this?
We got 11 watching. We got 26 likes, 33 dislikes.
Okay.
So everybody in the chat room better like this video.
Well, I guess the
especially G consciousness.
The Freemasons have made their mark. 33 dislikes. Mason 33.
Sorry, what did you say, Randy?
The Freemasons, number 33, have made their 33 dislikes.
Mm-hmm. What diamond? Oh, she can drive me nuts right now.
What time is it? It is G-Conscious. G-Conscious, you want to come in and talk for a minute, man?
Is he there?
Well, he might have left. He's on the road probably. He drives a lot. If not, we seem to keep drop. Oh, we got more. Well, we went from 12 to 8 to 10.
It goes up and down.
If we're gonna lose viewers, I'm probably gonna shut the Hangout down.
Mm-hmm.
Call it a night.
11 now.
It's getting. I know somebody already called it a night. What do you think, Pillbox? You there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, what you got going on, Rand? Got a dead chat out there, tired of Flat Earth kicking sand in your face?
That's it. I've had my fill. It seems the only one out there is Flat Stuff Earth, and he scared them all away. Look, he's admitting. Yeah, he's taking responsibility for the terrorist attack on this hangout.
Congratulations, that's 2 in one day.
Yeah, you're a vegan, right? Flat Stuff. You're a vegan.
Yeah, eat this vegan food. And drink the spring water, itches.
Ay. Okay, we're gonna call it a night. Pillbox, you got any final closing words?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Flat Earth isn't for everybody. It's not supposed to be. So thanks for playing.
Okay, Kendra, final words.
It's still flat.
Yeah, and my final words will be: the Earth is flat. That's that. Nothing you can do about it. Sorry about your luck. The next hangout we're going to do, for sure, we're going to do call-ins with the 1-833 It's Flat number. I'm going to try to figure out the speaker system so that it works. I just need to buy a speaker to set up to the laptop so that it's louder. And if I do that, we'll do some call-ins. So flat. That's that. Thanks for coming out, Pillbox. I love you, brother.
God bless.
And Kendra.
Appreciate you, bro. God bless you, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, God bless. I'll get to you in a minute. Kendra, I'll get to you in a minute. Actually, stay on here.
All right.
Stay on here. Okay, just a sec. I gotta stop sharing.
See how
October radio begins.
People are saying they want to call in next time. I love when they call in. I love when the trolls call.